So, game number 1, we've got another round of 16 set so far. I misspoke earlier. I said there were no sweeps in the round of 16. There was one sweep in the round of 16, so I was incorrect. But there have been a lot of competitive sets. We've had, I think, 2 3-1s, the rest all 3-2s. And this one, at least based off the seeds, is set to be really competitive as well. We've got ACCM down here towards the south with his TC. Very interesting TC spot because I feel like his other 2 villagers started pretty close together over here. But he did actually walk by Barles' TC, so he knows where that is. And he will complete this TC in a pretty good spot on the wood and the gold. Another Nomad game where we've got the middle pond. Barles is right next to that, but his initial dock goes up on the far side of the map. And already I'm thinking, can Barles get a castle down? Because castle dropping with Spanish is absolutely almost critical, necessary, but it's also really hard to stop, which is why you need to do it. Stone is up here, so he should be able to do that. Gold could be an issue for Barles, though. I mean, if ACCM chooses to pressure, ACCM's got the super safe gold next to the TC, but the closest gold for Barles is actually here. Now, he would be able to find more gold to the north. Of course, that's much safer, but he has to actually find that. And this is what we do. This is how things work. And sheep is all you have to scout for the time being. So I think for Barles, your strategy revolves around a castle drop. Bengalis, they're pretty good if that doesn't find any strength here. Wow, was there a boar? Did he spawn a boar out of his TC? I probably just didn't see it. Obviously, if a boar popped out of the TC, we'd have a problem. This was a crazy TC spot for ACCM, actually. I could see why he delayed his TC a little bit. Because he has the boar, and he has the golds, and he has the wood, and he has the deer, and he has the berries. So, yeah. But I just have so much faith in the Bengalis. Like, you get the +2 vills when you go fast feudal. Sorry. And usually you're not going to lose a lot in early feudal age unless it's going to be on water. And then on water, you have ships that regenerate. And with ships that regenerate, it gives you a slight edge there. So at the very least, let's say everything's even at that point on water if you're playing well. And then you make it to Castle Age, and then you just get the extra vills. See, a Nomad's not one of those maps where you're typically losing a lot of vills in feudal. And so for that reason, I would say that Bengalis are one of the best picks here. I think Viper's done it a lot. We had Tato picking Bengalis. He actually lost with Bengalis. But it has been a high priority pick for people so far. And then if you're up against the Conquistadors or any strong unique unit, you do have the really strong monks to use. So far, there has been very little scouting from Barles on the shoreline. So he found the landlock. Like maybe he didn't know the landlock was there, so he thought there could be water there, but he's going to head to a shoreline now. And so this sheep seems to be the shoreline scouter. And then this sheep is the land scouter. And maybe this sheep will be as well. ACCM sheep. He is more on the shoreline here. And he's also scouting the middle area. So he's just hunting for that dock right now. He already knows where Barles is town centered because he walked by it in Dark Age. And his TC was delayed. You could tell his TC was delayed by the population right now. So that's actually quite bad for ACCM. But I think considering the circumstances, you're going to take being down a villager or two to get a TC like this if you're going to recover the villagers. If he finds the dock over here, I would expect that he probably won't play for water. Like if he assumes this is landlocked, and oh, he did find the dock here somehow with a sheep. So yeah, probably feels like a position where he could justify a fast castle. But I don't know. You could also just build your second dock right by your TC, and then you're not that far away to getting some galleys over to kill some fish. And when you're playing against Spanish, the last thing you want is for them to have a free fish boom to make the conks and go fast castle. And Barles has had a super good Dark Age here. He's up 4 population because ACCM delayed his TC. And now he's going to have boar number 3, I think. And then he saved boar number 4. Also headed this way. Oh, and he found the gold as well. Okay, so he can kind of assume that ACCM is probably somewhere to the south. There's no way of knowing for certain. But I see a villager on stone. I see some walls. And yeah, Barles is going to try and go for conks. I like it. Like, some people might think of a situation where it's more ideal to go for conks. But you still got to do it, man. Like, if you're playing up against a good economic civ like Bengalis, I think it has to be conquistadors. People asking about the Hera-Nikov series. Hera-Nikov is tomorrow, 17 GMT. So this is the second to last set. The final set of the round of 16 is tomorrow. 17 GMT, which is like noon Eastern or something. Time changed recently, and it's still not completely memorized for me. But yeah, then the round of 16 will be over. Wednesday's a day off. Thursday and Friday, there's 2 best of 7s each for the quarters. Saturday is the 2 best of 7 semis. And then Sunday is the final. So definitely going to be conquistadors here for Barles. And ACCM is going to go kill that fish. So walked all the way over here. Couple vills are on gold. Lots of villagers on wood. This feels like galleys to me. But Barles, he's probably okay with his Dark Age he's had. It's been really smooth. He doesn't know how far ahead he is with res collected. But the fact that he's been able to get pretty much the perfect resources to go up to Castle Age, it'll take a little while for him to lose his fish. This could be really nice. Also, the true nomad guys, like Mr. Yo, right? The guys who live their life in nomad. They probably, if they're going to lose these fish, they might try and sneak a dock up in the middle pond and get 3 or 4 fishing ships out. Just to get a little bit more food eco. I think the middle pond really helps anyone going unique unit approach, which is what Barles will do. I thought Mr. Yo lived his life in China. Yeah, but like, his real life is Age of Empires. And, well, I guess he plays a lot of Arabia. But you know what I meant, all right? Just the guys who love their team game Nomad, who play lots of Nomad, they typically are going to go for that middle dock. And maybe ACCM's thinking about that. Look at this from ACCM. ACCM has an outpost on the pond. That is so sick. And now he's got the fire galleys out. So ACCM's going to win water. The KD, the Eco KD, everything's going to look great for him. Resources collected should catch up as well. Because his fishing ships, excuse me, will be working. And the fishing ships won't be working for Barles. But Barles is going to get to that castle. He's already on the way up to Castle Age. I'd really like to see Barles bring a vill and outpost around. Because I think the castle position is so key here. Even just knowing your opponent is walled like this, if you could just build the castle on their walls, you're so much closer to breaking into your opponent's base, and you can apply pressure that much faster. ACCM has scouted the whole map, whether it be with fire galleys or sheep. He hasn't seen any stone being mined, but I'm sure he expects it with Barles fast castling here. And he's even going to stonewall here. Now, ACCM, if you're going to stonewall here, I think you need to either house wall or stonewall this area. Because this is the more obvious area that Barles is going to pressure from. And again, slowly all the fishing ships die. Like, Barles has done the right thing. He's running away with some fish so he could still fish with the others. But ACCM has also done the right thing, and he's always leaving a fire next to the dock to find all the fish. So you're just basically making ACCM work harder to run the fish around, but you're still going to lose them. And that's okay, because you get to Castle Age, and you get to build a castle. But it won't be a castle drop forward for Barles. It's going to be a defensive one, which is fine. I mean, he has a lot of space up here. He's got some berries, some deer. There goes the castle. ACCM sees the castle. ACCM's done his job on water. He's up to 8 fishing ships. And now, ACCM knows the castle's coming up. And now he knows the stone wall. Really nice move from ACCM. Okay, chat. Do you think we see a dock in the middle and a transport ship from Barles here? Oh. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. The dock went up right before I said it. I think he just wants it for a couple of fishing ships first. But if he sees stone walls, isn't that the most natural play afterwards? What he doesn't know is that there's another outpost here from ACCM. Dude, and ACCM's going to drop a dock as well. If ACCM didn't have the walls, these conks would be horrible to deal with. But he does have the walls. I'm actually going to flip scoreboard side. I think that makes way more sense. ACCM can see the dock. He can see these conks. He's going to make fire galleys. And he's also adding walls behind, just in case the conks go over. Barles can see the outpost, so he might know he's been spotted now. And there he goes into the transport. Okay, ACCM can see him, but I don't think he can stop him. Oh, man, he's got to panic up more walls. This is still good for Barles. This is still really good. Because his conquistadors are just up against palisade walls. And the fire galleys for ACCM don't do anything right now. That transport has paid for itself 10 times. And the conks are going to be through. And the stone walls for ACCM have basically done nothing. And the conquistadors are starting to shred for Barles. This is the thing. I think after 4 or 5 conquistadors, you're not going to be able to afford more anyways. But if you could get this much value from 4 or 5 conquistadors, you could actually justify that boom too. Oh, man. Oh, dude. ACCM, he prepped so much for this. He worked so hard for this. He's got the 10 fishing ships. He had the walls. He had the outposts. He did everything right. Except for maybe having some stone walls there. Dude, it's such a rough thing to say, though, because he didn't really have the stone. But these 3 conquistadors have forced idle time. They've taken ACCM completely off of gold. Look at ACCM wall up here. It's just like walls everywhere. And yet he still can't get back to gold. He'll aim for monks. So once one monk pops out and starts to convert, Barles will have to back away. Barles can't get these other 2 conquistadors over here. But he's got some farming eco. He's dropping the second TC. And I think this game will be very good for Barles now. Compared to what it could have been. Because normally if you don't have fish and your opponent's been galleys, you're in big trouble. Oh man, that was not the best for Barles. I think he felt like his opponent couldn't make many more monks. And he debated in the moment there about killing them. Could have been a pathing issue, but he loses the conch and ACCM will probably be back on gold. But ACCM, it's not like he can build TCs over here right now. And it's not like he can easily expand in this little area he's in. Like, he's rather squished in here. Like, this TC, this is not a great spot, really. He needs a TC now. But when I look at the long-term map control, I really prefer Barles' position. Barles needs to delete those, yeah. Smart move from, sorry, I got distracted by chat. Classic. Smart move there from ACCM to build a wall behind. But also, well done from Barles to know he needed to delete there. I got distracted by someone who said he can't take my hype seriously anymore because if Spanish were good, we would have seen them in the last game yesterday. And I did talk to MBL, and MBL just didn't really think Spanish. He didn't think of Spanish being good there like I did. He said that he didn't think that he had a good home civilization for Grapple. And that he wished he would have played Spanish on Nomad, and then he would have had Lithuanians on Grapple. But I think you guys know how I feel about how good Spanish could have been there, at least compared to Khmer, so. What a good game to start it off, guys. This has been close. Barles starting to ram away here. 2 town centers, but he's going to have 2 relics. That's another really good TC. Look at all the space Barles has to expand into. He does know about the walls here, so he's not expecting any attack from ACCM. Also, ACCM didn't finish those walls. But I think it's more likely that Barles will continue to focus on this area. Here comes Barles. He is the underdog. And I was saying, oh god, does ACCM see the vills? He does with the outpost. So he's going to preemptively drop a tower to try and stop the castle. He's also bringing in monks. Dude, if a castle doesn't go up on his face because he saw the vills coming with that outpost, what a change. That's actually so good for ACCM. I don't know if that's going to lead to being game winning or anything. But if Barles gets that castle down, that could have been the GG moment. That's ridiculous from ACCM. To see the vills moving, knew what it meant, bring the monks, drop the tower. That's disgusting. And now the transport ship is back. And the conks are going to head over this way. And the monks for Barles. Is Barles going to transport vills right now? Ah! Hold on, Barles might still castle drop. The transport ship won't get converted. And conks are over here. 5 vills have made it. I don't know if a 5 villager castle drop is necessarily ideal, but he disagrees. He's got a sheep protecting the hill. That's enough. But what I like about this is this gives you an opportunity to flood conks onto this side as well. And ACCM's monks are so slow. Like, look at what he has to do now. He has to come react to this. And then he leaves the other position he was just moments ago. It's a really difficult game for ACCM to keep track of everything. And then also he has to balance his economy. Also, he has to boom. He doesn't see this castle's going up. So this castle's going to go up right next to this TC as well. ACCM's under a ton of pressure. And this would be the time for Barles to go like Cav, in my opinion. He has enough food income. I don't think more conquistadors are actually needed if there's just full monks. If he's to stay in Castle Age, I think like Cav are the key, and he'll probably do it. Barracks is just before the stable. And Barles is going to drop another castle here. So Barles is going to... He says, fine, I won't castle drop your main eco. I'll just castle drop the other eco. The good news for ACCM is he only has like 3 vills here. It's not like he's got 15. Bad news, obviously, is like you're stuck. When he runs out of this gold and out of this stone, that's it for him. He won't have anything left. I think ACCM needs Imp. He needs his own castle, and he needs to hope to treble this down. This, you just kind of have to forget about. I don't see a chance that these villagers escape. 4 castles from Barles, who, like we said, is shown results and potential to be in the top 10 conversation. He's seed 10 right now. He's playing some of the best Age of Empires he's played in a long time. But there have been many times where I see like Barles, who someone might consider 10th in the world, or 12th in the world, or 14th in the world. He runs into top 8, and that's where the conversation slows down with him. I mean, that's still insane, of course. Like, Barles is an absolute god. But this could be a moment where he's like, you know what? Nomad maps. He's been playing really actively over the past few months, I've noticed, on the ladder compared to before. He's been playing a little less Black Forest team games, a little bit more aggressive maps, and saw him beat Viper the other day a couple times in ranked. Earlier in the stream, I said rank doesn't necessarily matter. I kind of stand by that, but still. Good results for Barles. And now game number 1. And he's on the way to the Imperial Age faster than ACCM, and he's even going to build another castle back here. That's going to be his 5th castle in this game. That's ridiculous. Crazy economy for him. Only thing I'm surprised by is that he's still making conks, which feels foolish to say because they're so good. But as he is quickly going to build some houses so these vills don't escape, well played. I feel like light cab would be sick here. ACCM's not going to believe it. Everywhere ACCM goes, there's a castle. There's castles on his face. Oh my god, he doesn't know. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a castle over here. There's a castle over here. There's 2 castles here. He never expected there to be a castle there. And monks are just the main army from ACCM. He's thinking monks and trebuchets. But Barles could potentially even out-treb him, honestly. And now more conks come in over here. ACCM was hoping to get some walls down. Barles just pounces. Say goodbye to your monks. Kills the monks, loses a conquistador. Probably worth it. Because he's still in his opponent's base. Still idling so much eco for ACCM. Who, by the way, did sneak out over here. Just noticed this myself. So this might end up being a talking point if this game goes late. Barles doesn't know about that. And probably won't really expect that either. Because he thinks he has ACCM cut off with these 2 castles. ACCM will be an imp in 20 seconds. But I'm worried about his lack of stone compared to Barles. Or just like lack of everything compared to Barles. Lack of access. Barles can go anywhere for any resource right now. Oh, and he will find that gold. Most likely because he will go to mine that. Barles with 17 vills in queue. And still 500 food in the bank. His eco is crazy good. And these conks just have to be respected at all times. It is such a frustrating unit to have to deal with. I've never seen a ram versus an armored elephant before. But looks like the ram does an alright job. And first trebs are out for Barles. So it's 2 trebs versus 1. It's 5 castles versus 1. Obviously, he's probably not going to make trebs from this side. But he still has 3 castles over here to make trebuchets out of to win the treb war. I think the only way Barles loses this game right now is if he doesn't commit as much to repairs. If he commits just as much to repairs and brings the vills in, there's no way that he loses his trebs and no way he loses his castle. ACCM has 25 vills repairing this castle. He's committing. Let's see if Barles does. Barles is bringing the vills. He is also going to castle this, so he noticed this. That's castle number 6. He's getting heresy! 1,000 golds! It's so worth it. When your opponent's army is full monks, I think it needs to happen more. Any conversion now, the unit will simply die. That's all ACCM's hoping for, is conversions. He is healing this armored elephant. Funnily enough, the armored elephant's the MVP. Are you kidding me? Armored elephant going for the trebs? Villagers repairing? Villagers attacking? Conquistador converted? The treb is still up, though. Castle for ACCM still being repaired. This is the only castle he has, guys. I think it's going to fall. Barles is going to rush with vills. He's getting supremacy. It's the vill rush. The villager rush. The villager stats double. And they're warriors now. And they'll rush down the trebs. The conks will kill the monks. No conquistadors will switch sides. And Barles does lose his castle. But I think ACCM's castle will go down as well. And ACCM has no army, man. That's not exactly true. Barles doesn't have a lot of army either. Dude, ACCM, you don't have supremacy. Don't do the same thing. Freaking ACCM, man. He's gonna Vill Rush right back. He's like, I don't care. It's about sending a message. And there he goes with normal Vills. They're all gonna die to conks. Attacking the trebs. Barles is probably so confused. He's like, huh? This isn't supposed to be happening. I think he's repairing his trebs with enough Vills. There's those conks behind which will kill the Vills. And ACCM is toast. He's got no map control. He won't take out any of these trebs. All of his Vills have gone down. And the underdog, not a massive underdog, but the slight underdog here, Barles takes the first game. What a strong victory. I talked about all the positives of Bengalis, right? Or like the overpowered TC position from ACCM, where he could have made the monks, where he could have made the just had this massive eco. Amazing adaptations from Barles. Now, I do think that ACCM's initial TC position would have probably ended up being over here if he built it with the 2 vills that were closest. To me, it did feel like he built the TC with the villager that was on its own. So he delayed his Dark Age a little bit. Barles was cooking. But what a fun game. We got to see the middle pond have massive value. The transport actually changed the game. And ACCM will be a little frustrated too because he did so much. Like he walled all of this. He walled all of this. He built the outposts. He knew that the transport could come, but it happened anyways because he was just a little bit too late. Also, props to Barles. His macro was ridiculous. This wasn't a game about the conks as much as what he was able to do behind it. Collecting 6,000 more resources when you're playing up against Bengalis and then you don't have a fish boom is ridiculous. So super well played there from Barles. And Barles wins the first game. Okay, game 2. Barles had an amazing start, and Barles goes for the Magyars. Well, okay. I don't know if you could tell how much thinking I was doing there, but usually you see Magyars in tournaments to kill fast. And so my brain went, I don't like the Magyars because this isn't a scout rush map. But then I thought a little bit longer. Magyar late game is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Like, recurve bow cav archers, Magyar hussar. Magyar late game is actually pretty good. Now, they don't have eco bonuses to work with, like a lot of other civilizations that have good late game. But we'll see what Barles chooses to do with the Magyars. ACCM has gone Saracens. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Saracens picked more frequently on this map. I think they have been banned a lot. A lot of people don't like to face up against the Saracens. But ACCM has just 2 sheep inside of his transport. Barles actually collected 5 already. And then this one he stole, but he just lost to ACCM. So he knows ACCM's TC is there. So Saracens have the faster firing galleys, which could be great if you wanted to go for the galley approach. Even if you don't open with galleys, I think having the potential of your navy being insane in the late game is really good on this map. And then it's the market. They don't have any eco bonuses beyond the market, but having the cheap market and using that can help you get an edge in some different ways. Military-wise, Saracens are stacked. It's a bit weird to call them a civ of options because they don't have very good knights and they don't have like Halb, but anything else you might want, the Saracens have, and it's on steroids. You've got insane siege, so they have the counterweights upgrade. Counterweights, pretty costly, but can really help your siege. Their monks are insane. I think that the Barista man, why is this tripping me up? This is tripping me up because Dave and I typically call it the Barista man. But I want to actually say it right. I can't say it right. I just want to say Barista man now. Okay, well, whatever that is, I'll do some research off stream. That healing, I think, is really underrated in some scenarios. They have the Mamelukes. They have 170 HP camels. They have fully upgraded Arbalest, fully upgraded Cav Archers. Did I mention Siege Onager? I think I did. Fully upgraded Hussars. Fully upgraded Champion, though they might miss, like, supplies, or they might miss the other one, the new one. God, this is a horrible intro to this cast. It adds the extra little bit of armor. Chat's gonna help me. Chat's gonna help me. But anyways, they have a lot, and so I do like them a lot. Yeah, Gambesons. Thank you, Gambesons. So I think I'd lean a little bit more towards Saracens because it is really difficult to get to the Magyar late game compared to the Saracens. But I'm curious how Barles plays this. So there was a game from Doubt in the round of 32. And what he did on this map was he went fast feudal. He made 2 galleys, hid them in the dock, right? And he popped out once he got the 2 galleys and killed all of his opponent's fish. And then he also went Scout Rush. I think that could have potential here. Because if you're just fast castling with Magyars, and the Saracens do the same, the Saracens have the market to help them balance out their res. The Saracens probably are even better suited for water. If you just go scouts and you just lose all your fish, I don't know if the Scout Rush does much. But if you could possibly combine the 2, I think it could be pretty sick here, so. Skopek, Dave and I will absolutely cast together. I did ask him to cast this series and a series yesterday, but doesn't look like it was on the schedule. We'll have sets covered together. I also really enjoyed bringing in MBL. I enjoyed bringing in Ganji. I'd like to bring in some other people who maybe have interest, so. But there's not much time left in the tournament. We've just got like 7 days. But should be epic. I'll make sure it's good. Sorry to just cast this one solo, though. I'll make sure I prioritize co-casters who can actually read the words on the screen. And then things should probably be much better than the start here. So. Okay, Loom's coming in for Barles, which tells me that he is going to click up. Or is he going to take that boar? He's going to take the boar. Is the boar trying to jump off the map right now? Did you see that? Yeah. He knows he's about to be hunted. He's trying to run. Tried to jump right off the map, man. Yeah, I take it. Yeah, this is definitely fast castle from Barles. He's walled up big time. He simply just got Loom so he could bring in another boar. That is a very big pond. If he ever wanted to try docking this and adding fish traps. But as fun as that is, even for a Black Forest player like Barles, I think it's pretty inconvenient. And I think it's not really good for his civilization. Maybe something like Japanese you would feel like you had to try. ACCM's up. He's got 2 on gold. And he will probably end up winning the water here. May see him pull his transport over to shoreline, grab a vill, build another dock in the middle. And usually, if you're going to apply pressure, you want your dock to be a little bit closer. And then a new dock also makes the fishing more efficient because these fish are almost gone. So I think that could work quite well. But yeah, it's so funny, man. Like, the early rounds of Wandering Warriors Cup, we would see so much water commitment here. And then the best players are just like, go ahead, take the fish. There's so many other ways to get food. I'm not really going to lose any sleep over losing my fish. You still have the fish. I'm not going to, bring up who didn't. That game still bothers me. You still have to do it. You still have the early workers that you need in the early game. But at a certain point, it's already getting pretty inefficient. And it's probably fine. Now, I think the key here for ACCM is to just assess and think about things. Barles is still not up. He hasn't seen a second dock anywhere with his transport ship. I think 2 galleys, maybe 1 fire ship, and you're fine. The galleys obviously kill the fish faster, but you probably need a fire ship to take out the dock. Someone says, JK, sorry my comments are sometimes shite. Love your stream, T90. No matter solo casting or together with other legends. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I didn't take offense. It's all good. I like the fact you said shite. It would feel weird for me to say that as an American, I feel, but it's a little bit more enjoyable for me. So this is why Saracens feel more natural with the water play. Because any other Civ goes for this build, and their eco's kind of a mess because they went heavy on wood, heavy on gold. They don't have food. But ACCM, he's going to keep his fish, and then he's going to use his market, and his resources are going to be looking good to click up the Castle Age in no time. So I think both players have played this very well. Magyars is still kind of a curious decision for me. But Barles is probably going to play this late game style. Try and scout the map for relics. Hope his opponent hasn't walled up. So we can get in to do some damage. ACCM's too smart for that, though. Against the Magyars, you got to get the walls down. He's done that very nicely here. And he'll kill the fish. The only thing he's not doing is attacking the dock. So technically still an opportunity for Barles to make a couple fires. But I think the second there's a flag on the dock, ACCM notices that. And that everything gets sniped. And it's just not worth it. So Barles, you gain an advantage here by getting the TCs down. You give up the fish. And then you drop the TCs. And things normally end up pretty even. Possum says, hey, T90 in the Treb war from the last game, is there any particular reason none of them targeted each other's Trebs? So it's situational. That situation just felt like a situation where you needed to take out the castle. Because if ACCM took out the castle from Barles, he could use his monks to convert the conquistadors, which he couldn't do because the castle fire was protecting. And then on the flip side, Barles couldn't really use his conks against anything because of castle fire as well. So it was a situation where it felt like they just needed to take the castles down. I also think they were kind of targeting the Trebs on the Trebs as well at various points, but they might have like switched it up halfway through. So this is a build with no eco bonuses for Barles. The only thing he's really saved is a little bit of food on the scouts. And he's going to town center the very north. Whoa. This is odd. I mean, I don't hate it. But usually having all your eco together is what you see. So he clearly wants a little bit more map control with his eco setup. Has anyone here played with fully upgraded Magyar Cav Archers against Saracens? Can you give me any examples? Give me your thoughts. Like, I've seen it before, especially in community style games, and it just feels like Magyar CA can kill what should be a counter unit. Like, what would you make as Saracens? I think you'd have to go heavy camo and Trebs, and hope that as your camos are pushing the Cav Archers back, the Trebs are taking down their base. You almost need that combination. Mameluke. I think Mameluke's going to be really tough to get into because you need the castles. I love Mamelukes, but I don't think Mameluke is it. Being able to just simply produce out of the stable is crazy. Like, if you didn't get 170 HP camels without having to research any techs, if it was just some normal camel civ that had Mameluke, then that'd be different, because Mamelukes are great. But I think Saracen, regular, out-of-the-box Saracen camels are just simply too good, as is. So 7 fishing ships for ACCM. That's obviously helping a little bit. But he just gets his second TC and his third TC up, so he's down by about 6 or so vills. And Barles looking to snag those relics. He actually leaves this relic in his walls. So he's in a pretty good spot here. He'll have at least 2 relics. We'll see if he gets the others with the camel running around. 1890, ChatGPT says your other career outside of AoE was a history teacher, which is why you're interested in AoE. Is that true? Yeah, of course. You guys don't know I'm an expert in history? Have you never listened to a thing I've said over the years? Obviously, I'm an expert in history. What do you mean? Yeah, totally right on that. Totally right. I know so much history. The history? The histories? Me? Yeah, man, just ask away. I can give you all the answers. No, that's not true. I am an appreciator of history. I enjoy, but I do not retain history, so I don't know where that came from. Grasping at straws. Can't trust the bots just yet. Now, I am an AoE historian. Can I tell you guys something? Ooh, this could be fun. Let's wait a second, because this is an important moment. Scout was coming in to maybe snipe this monk. And there's no other scouts on the field for ACCM, so he's going to snag this relic. He's going to dive for this, I think. Barles is going to see it. Scout is super weak. Yeah, I don't think ACCM can get anywhere close to that. If he gets close to that, the scout dies and a camel gets converted, and he'll regret that. All right, so I'm not sure if this is... Oh, he tries. Yeah. He does have 3 camels, though. I mean, maybe it's worth it. Because you're basically fighting for relic control. So if you can just buy time to get this relic, it's probably fine. Okay, it says, what is this? ChatGPT says T90 is well known for his enthusiastic and entertaining casting style, which has made him one of the most popular personalities in the AoE2 scene. It doesn't say anything about history there. Someone tell the bot that that's not right? All right, they're just fighting for relics. I got to tell you something. I got to tell you how messed up I am. So, earlier this week, I forgot how many years I've been engaged to the love of my life. I thought it was 3 years, and it's really been 2. Okay? So that happened earlier this week. Also, last evening, I had a mod reach out to me. There's no joke. I'm going to make a video on this because it's actually something I forgot about. I had Shulker reach out to me, and Shulker said, do you remember any games where 2 deer spawned on top of one another, bugging out, sending one deer to the left side of the map? That's what he said. And I was like, ooh, Acropolis, Hidden Cup 2. It was Viper in the yellow, and I forget who in the blue. And I looked it up. It was Acropolis 2019, and there was a deer. So basically, the deer gets spawned, right? And if 2 deer spawn on top of each other, one of them just goes zoom and zooms to the other corner. And a deer ran right underneath Viper's TC. It was like the most map hacks thing you'll ever see. And I immediately found it. I immediately gave him the game from 5 years ago. But I also forgot how long I was engaged to my fiance. It's a problem. I mean, it's like... It's good, I guess, because you guys come here. This is like my job, blah, 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 blah. But my brain doesn't work for other things. It's just wired this way. But yeah, I guess it creates for some fun content, so... You still remember her name, right? Dude, don't... I'm not that bad. Obviously. Barles did get a little housed here, but that's normal when you're booming up like this. He's starting to go for the Cav Archers now, which I really like. And the next few moments are really important because he needs the Cav Archer mass. What he cannot accept is he cannot accept losing these Cav Archers right now and giving ACCM map control. So they're both going to be fighting for map control, and ACCM will probably get armor. ACCM will probably add more camels. At least I think that might make sense. These Cav Archers don't even have Bod Canero yet. So I like ACCM's position at the moment. But he does fall back to the monks. He might think he has Bodkin, or maybe not. No, Bodkin hurts massively here. And oh, this is so bad for Barles. Really nice engagement for ACCM. I think Barles was looking over here for a second, trying to kill this villager. And so he just misjudged that situation there. 2 ranges there for Barles. We'll need the higher production, but he's clicked up to Imp. So you need the castle. You need 5 blacksmith upgrades. You need 2 upgrades. Well, 3 upgrades from your archery range. And then you need the unique tech. And then you're fully upgraded. So like 10 upgrades away from putting everything into making these Cav Archers, in my opinion, the strongest Cav Archers in the game. Mongol Cav Archers would have something to say about that. If you're going to say Mangadai, then maybe. But I think Magyar Cav Archers are the best Cav Archers in the game with recurve bow. Yeah, also, we did forget about the university upgrade, so I guess he already has one of those. It's expensive. Really expensive. So ACCM's doing what I expected, where he would just go for more map control and invest a lot more. But Barles is going to be up pretty quickly here. And Barles will have his ranges pumping. And now, without the Scorpions, I'm not sure ACCM can take easy engagements. Barles has played amazing here today, guys. He's played really smooth. Look at that. Another game where he adapts perfectly to the situation. Quickly gets the gate down. Cav archers will find some kills. ACCM getting more he's getting more upgrades, but he needs to fall back. Yeah, there's other good Cav Archer upgrades. Or civs, sorry. You guys mentioned some of them. How many people here, though, would like to see a video on all the instances a deer has glitched out and gone across the map? Because I'm working on YouTube content on Wednesday, my day off from Wandering Warriors Cup. It's a very, very niche moment, but I think it's kind of fun to look back on that stuff. It doesn't happen anymore these days. Oh, that's 2 scorpions. Dude, I couldn't figure out how the Cav Archers hadn't killed the scorpions. I think Barles was confused as well. He did enough damage to kill 1 scorpion, but there were 2 on top of each other. Okay, now Bracer is in, and now Recurve Bow is in. So now it's 8 range, which no other Cav Archers have. And the micro from Barles looking good. Looking good. Now there's Barista Man coming in, so that will be for some healing. And so ACCM knows his stuff to heal up his units. And he's going Mamelukes out of 2 castles. I think he will commit to them, guys. He probably had to think through this whole game the same thing we were thinking. Do you go Camel? Do you go Mameluke? Maybe you go for both. Can someone get the exact description of the Barista Man tech? I think you heal in a range. And I actually, it's a little embarrassing that I'm saying the tech is really strong and I can't actually fully describe it for you. I know it heals a lot. That's essentially what I know, but I don't actually know the exact specifics of it. And for everyone who's saying, why are you calling it Barista Man? You got here too late, all right? You got here too late. I'm not going back to explain it now. Docks for Barles. He's going to fight on water. Okay, it says automatically heal all near friendly units in a 5-tile radius simultaneously at a rate of 75 HP per minute. Yeah, so it's the simultaneous healing that's pretty ridiculous. You just need a couple monks and the whole group is getting healed instead of waiting and healing one by one. This is going to be a crazy game. ACCM's deleted his fishing ships. He's dropping docks. He's getting elite Mameluke and heavy camel. What are we about to see? Obviously, for Barles, I think it's got to be primarily CA. He's going to mix in the Navy as well, but he is also going to aim for Halb because he's worried about the camels. Yeah, so if you have, like, 3 monks, your full army gets healed up so freaking fast with that tech. That's what ACCM has. He also got 3 relics, by the way, which is pretty good. Barles fortifying with castles. ACCM could do the same, but he needs the left side. He'll come over here, clear this up. It's crazy to me that for so long, the Saracens had to research attack to get the extra HP, and they just casually get 170 HP naturally on their camels. I remember at the time, I was like, Saracens didn't need a buff. The Saracens are pretty insane without that change. There's the Mamelukes, but the Mamelukes are heavily outranged. And even though they eat the Cav Archers, I think the Cav Archers eat them even faster because of that range. And this is a good castle for ACCM, both for Mameluke production and then also to protect this corner. Guys, what a game. What a game this is. This is going to come down to map control most likely. Who has the castles? Who has the access to golds and stones? But right now, there's 30,000 gold. 10,000 stone. It's ridiculous. Also, you can't wall on the ice. There was a choke point there. Barles is adding more walls, but it's still open. Dude, imagine a demo there. But the camels are through. That's smart from ACCM, if you ask me. This is also good from ACCM to have his galleons out. Barles wanted to do a million different things here, but he never really produced on water yet. And now the camels are raiding him. And he was never really pushing on land either. I felt like Barles just kind of slowed down a little bit. This camel raid is massive and frustrating and annoying. And also Saracen galleons in the middle. Ready to go. Probably will soon be backed up by cannon galleons. The Mamelukes sniped the Treb. Dude, Barles thought the Treb was safe. And the Mamelukes sniped it. That's crazy. The last 2 minutes for ACCM have been ridiculous. Let's not forget that he's got all the stone and gold locked down now. Oh my god, the Mamelukes are going to snipe another Treb. What a pain. What a difficult thing to deal with. But hold on. We've got fast fires here from Barles. He still doesn't have 40 cav archers yet. I don't even know if you can fully justify it. Because he needs his population elsewhere. It's tough. The water matters. But also the water kind of hampers you a little bit on land when it comes to population efficiency. The cav archers and some halbs will be here for the camels. These camels will get whatever value they can, and then will die. And now a castle here from ACCM. He does know about this castle. I think he'll eventually plan on trebbing that down. This has gone super late. And an overchop now. And more annoyance for Barles as he has to chase this down. As he has to chase that down, ACCM is here, taking villagers off the gold. He'll lose the camels there. He'll lose the camels here. But the CA count is so low for Barles right now. He is trying to fight back on water. Like, okay, I fully understand what Barles is trying to do because Navy is helpful in this map. But considering the matchup, I feel like trying to play Navy against Saracens, it takes away from the Magyar mass on land, and then you're probably in a losing fight on water with what is achievable with your Civ. Now, I am like super simplifying a very complicated situation, but that's my take right now is maybe going water is going to be something Barles looks back on with regret. Like, I was still waiting for the 40 CA and some trebs to push somewhere. But he hasn't been able, and the heavy doubles do nothing. Yeah, they basically do nothing. But, I mean, they could. So, woo. Crazy how ACCM has gained momentum after those camels got in. Now he's got some trebs over here. Garrisons and vills. Couple Mamelukes around. You could tell Barles is distracted. Barles is losing track of his armies here. Oh, more cav archers die. This castle could fall. Mamelukes. Siege rams now for ACCM. And the siege rams are a great addition against everything that Barles is making. You can take down the building, sure, but it soaks up the arrow fire and the attacks from the halbs and the cav archers. And production buildings are key here, right? So are castles. I think this is the correct play from Barles. He'll mix in some of these Magyar Hussars. They do have a bonus versus siege, but that's not enough. It's not enough. The Treb still fires. Barles, though, does have 3 cannon galleons on this castle now for ACCM. So, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the water control pans out. But ACCM has a lot of galleons stacked up there. He also has his monks around, and he did still clear out a lot of buildings up here. Zero says, something's wrong with my capture age. Is everything good with CA? Oh, the resource is displayed. Yeah, we can remove that. Sorry. Mamelukes make it through on this side. We can check back up on that later. It feels like ACCM has done every move he needed here in Imp to get an edge. And the cav archers are not the talking point for the Magyars. And so, big problems for Barles. Also, I just got, like, really intense deja vu. But I don't think that we've seen Saracens Magyars here. But you know that feeling? Really intense deja vu. Like, I said the exact words, and, like, Barles is going to come back and win now or something. That's what my brain just told me. Let's see. He's got a crazy navy here. He doesn't really have siege to push, but he could maybe use the cannon galleons. Mamelukes will actually kill ships pretty fast. So it's not a bad unit to have in combination with Navy. And Barles cannot lose this corner. Like, you lose this corner, you've got one single corner of the map, and even that corner was just pushed moments ago. His pop is high, but it's not looking good for Barles. Like, sure, he might desperately run in with the Magyar Hussar to try and snipe Trebs, but ACCM's always waiting. ACCM knows he's going to do that. And the castle goes down. The Magyar Hussar can't do anything there. Still just 11 Cav Archers for Barles. He's making a lot on water now. I think he's starting to run out of gas on land on both sides. So ACCM could actually just give up on water and still win quite easily as long as he continues to push here. Like, this is 50 villagers for Barles. His relics are here. Like, his production is really bad. He's just got big issues. And I'm always expecting ACCM to be 1 or 2 demos away from coming back on water. We see the demos there. We see the galleons there. Another castle for ACCM. Barles trying to push back. Barles will try and push back. He's bringing the Magyar Hussars in to snipe the Trebs. But ACCM positions his Mamelukes perfectly. Even Magyar Hussar can't kill those Trebs right now. ACCM will repair. He'll patrol in his Mamelukes. He'll use his Trebs on the Trebs from Barles. The Mamelukes are shredding. The Navy's back for ACCM over here. He'll start to break into the north now. But Barles will take the Trebs. He will hold. But he's not holding on to much. 1 on gold. 32 on food. Docks are going to get pushed now. Cannon galleons can take down all of this. I think ACCM's got this one. He'll snipe a Treb now. I mean, he can lose this castle. He still has an amazing position over here. He's got 2 more castles to lose before there's any panic. Barles needs to solve the issues in the north. Needs to solve the issues in the west. And he needs to solve the issue in the center of the map. He's all of that. And maybe somehow also getting a raid in on ACCM. Which feels a little impossible right now. ACCM has played late game perfect. Look at his stone. 1,200 stone. Even going to get hoardings now. The only thing I'd say for ACCM is maybe he needs a couple more farms. But he's not really using his Mamelukes, or sorry, losing his Mamelukes that quickly. It seems like he's got enough food to make more Mamelukes. He's pretty clearly just thinking, if I hold the left side now, I win. Because the Navy is going to take care of everything else. Too late for Barles to come back on water. And so that castle falls. This castle will fall. It is a weird one because Barles feels very clearly dead from our perspective. But from his perspective, he's at 160 pop. And he's never going to want to call it, which is reasonable. ACCM needs a unit that is good enough to completely obliterate this push back from Barles. And he's got it, man. He already has it. The Elite Mameluke. 133 HP, 12 attack, 3 range. And as he loses a castle on the left, he'll just drop a castle here. This is the only gold income for Barles right now, by the way. That's it. He can't take this gold. And, oh, I'm wrong. Sorry, he does have this gold, but even that is going to be down once the castle goes down. Mamelukes making their way in. There's a Hussar meat shield, so he'll toss away some bodies, and ACCM is going to snipe the Trebs. He was so patient here, right? Just repaired. Made sure he didn't lose water. He doesn't need to push here. He could try, but realistically, he kind of has a population issue. And the Navy is just gonna cut the base of Barles in 2. Yeah, Hussar raid is also Gonna find the villagers that aren't near the water here, so. Maybe Barles had a couple games against ACCM where ACCM didn't resign when he was dead, and this is a bit of revenge from Barles. I get the jokes from chat on that. But when you're in the moment, you just keep looking at your pop and you think, what can I do to fix my situation? So it's like, okay, I need more on food. I need more gold. I need more trebs. Create helps, create this, create that, move the units. And so if you see you at 170 pop, you're not going to resign. So we can chill and relax. You guys are having snacks and... I mean, I'm not, but we're relatively relaxed. And we could look at this and be like, dude, you're dead. You have no position on the map. But it's been a hard fight, and Barles is going to call it until he knows he's dead. And even then, you almost want to play on past the point where you know you're dead. But I think he's very close to that point. And the GG's called. Yeah. So, I want you to look at the top 3 created units right there. That is my explanation for why I think Barles had some issues here. Now, he could have easily still lost. I'm not saying that committing more heavily to Cav Archer and getting the big mass would have done it for him, because I think Saracens are the better late game save. But I think, like, it felt like he was going to have momentum. And then he said, ooh, water, water. And he dropped the docks and got shipwright and all that stuff. But then he never had any momentum whatsoever. And it was super easy for ACCM. He's got this crazy naval civilization with all these bonuses. ACCM could just come back on water, and then there was never a big mass of Cav Archers. I wanted to see like 50 Cav Archers with trebs and just mowing ACCM down. That's what I would hope for. Didn't work out there, obviously. Scores 1-1. And as I said, I'm not even sure that would work against the Mamelukes. Super sick play from ACCM. He had a great economy that game. His map control was amazing. And yeah, his fights, just better the whole way through. 407 kills, 247 losses. He had tons of map control to work with there. And it was like a big moment in this game for me was when ACCM raided with the camels. He also recognized you can't fully wall in this map. That camel raid was sneaky good. Because Barles was trying to do so many other things at that time, and then he was losing vills, and he had to react to camels splitting up in his eco, so GG. Wow, guys, we're seeing it again! Okay, so game 3, we've seen almost everybody build their TCs in the middle. There's been 2 players in this tournament that did not. One of them is Barles. And Barles won the last time he did this. And the other player that did it was Dogao, and I would like to publicly apologize to Dogao because I was heavily critical at that time. He was down 2-0. I hadn't seen it yet. Didn't work. But it did look good, and I think probably Barles and Dogao must have trained and determined that you don't necessarily need the middle. I don't love this because you have 2 elephants. Well, okay, actually, let me go down the long list of reasons why I don't like this. Okay? I don't like this because your TC is late. So you're down a villager or a villager and a half, maybe even 2. I don't like this because you're super far from the elephants. And if your opponent is smart, aka ACCM, before you can go get your elephants, he's just going to go walk, take your elephants, and then you have no elephants. And then those are pretty much the main reasons that I don't like it. But hold on, let's see if ACCM can actually bring these in. Because he's really low pop. ACCM knows that this is a risk worth taking. Dude, that's so sick. Because what I saw the last time this happened was they waited till they had enough vills to walk out and kill it easily. And they only got 1 because the player in Barles' position walked out to get the other. That's really well played from ACCM. Now, let me talk about why I think the strategy from Barles can work. I already said the downsides. I think food is going to be an issue. The start is going to be slower. Well, because the opponent is going to have all of their economy, or a lot of their economy, in range of ships. And so, pretty clearly here, I think the plan for Barles, if he can find the food, and that's going to be an issue for him now, but it's probably galleys. And so if he goes for galleys and wins water with Vikings, which is the best galley civ, it could be tough for ACCM being stuck in the middle with all these vills. His TC could eventually be shot down. Even if ACCM gains a 15 villager lead, if his TC is completely surrounded by longboats or something, that's probably going to disappear pretty quickly. So essentially, I think the logic is it's risky, but it simplifies your game plan and is worth the risk. But guys, because ACCM took those 2 elephants, Barles can't take them. He brought in 1. The other one for him is here if he wants to take a rhino. He does not know about the other rhino here. If he gets 3 of them, plus a water buffalo or 2, I think he can go fast feudal, no problem. Fast castle's gonna be kind of tricky. Also, a small detail which is kind of fun. This is really interesting. Barles will know that ACCM has not docked because I think it would make a lot of sense for ACCM to dock the middle. But aha! Well, he doesn't know about that. Yeah, if you dock the middle, it's spotted. If you dock the outside, it's not. ACCM! 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 Man, almost lost that villager. Just had to save it. And still could lose a villager if he's not careful here. Ah! Jeez, dude. Somebody get a monk over here. No villagers lost. Res collected's actually pretty even. And I guess the build for Barles did allow him to fish earlier. Because he chopped wood, and ACCM couldn't do that because he was taking the rhinos. Huh. Barles actually has the worker lead right now. What? Dude, I love this. I cannot wait to ask Barles and Dogal because I like completely... If you go back and watch my cast of Dogal when he did this, I was very critical. And then in the mid game, I was kind of like, oh, okay, maybe it has a chance. Yeah, I can't wait to ask who is to credit for this. Because, you know, players will play practice sets, usually if they're on the opposite side of the bracket. And that's where you try stuff. And then usually, you know, if someone tries something against you and it works, you're going to use it too. Barles won with it already. I think he played Bohemians? No, that was another series. That was another game he played against Vivi. I think Dave covered the Barles Vivi series. But yeah, anyways, it's not important. Barles did it before. He won with it before. That's what matters. And he's about to click up the feudal age. ACCM, he doesn't have any vision on anything his opponent's doing whatsoever. So he's completely in the dark. And he's going to wall up right now. And this feels like a feudal age play still. But, I mean, should still have tons of food. Still finishing an elephant, still has the buffalo, still has the hunt. Just isn't on gold right now, ACCM. Ah, he's going to stone. Huh. Well, this doesn't mean he doesn't go to stone and gold. But this doesn't feel like galleys to me. This feels like a castle. Or maybe towers in Castle Age? Yeah, someone says res collected already, so higher for Barles. It's pretty sick, man. Also, T West, who's worked on the maps, put so much time into fixing and tweaking the straggler trees on this map because players have been complaining about the trees. Now, the early version of the map, fully understand. I also understand you want maps to be as fair as possible, so we've done our best. But it's so funny to me how maybe all along what Barles is doing is actually the best play. And there's been so many people freaking out about a couple straggler trees. He says, screw your straggler trees. Screw your elephants. I could find enough food elsewhere. What a strat. But ACCM would have had time to see it. He would have had time to know about this because he could have watched the games 4. Yeah, there. I'll swap the scoreboard for you. Isn't this just so much better for Barles right now? I'm really confused by ACCM. He's going to make 1 fire, but he's not on gold, so he can't make more. I don't know, like... I guess he's planning to sell the stone to get the gold for Castle Age. Galleys are on the way for Barles. 2 docks. He may not immediately win water, though. That fire will be a problem. But there's 2 galleys here, so... Well, he could kill that. I think ACCM wants to go war wagons. Does anyone know how war wagons do versus galleys? Fishing ships for ACCM have to flee. Fishing ships for Barles have to flee, but it'll have more galleys. Barles will have a really healthy economy behind this. And we'll still get to Castle Age. And yeah, there goes ACCM. So ACCM, the 1 fire was just for a little bit of harassment. It probably won't do much. Because I'd expect it all to get microed down. So make it to Castle. He's still not mining gold. So he can't make a lot of navy unless he changes that. It's definitely a castle. So where do you castle, guys? Do you castle the middle? Or do you castle, like, near your dock, maybe? It has to be a castle. There's no way he's going to sell off that stone. That would be crazy. Now, I really like the build from Barles. I think his economy is much healthier right now. This was never a fast castle. This was to get some numbers on the field. So to be able to click up at this time, it looks pretty smooth for Barles, in my opinion. And he also will outpost around the map. This is smart from him, because what he doesn't want is to get, like, tower pushed or castle dropped. Which actually, the more I think about it, that would be ideal for ACCM. To run over here and castle drop the Barles' face, but he can't do that if he doesn't have water control. There go the fish. Let's see where ACCM drops the castle. Feels like it's going to be in the middle, because the outside stuff is safe from the water. The middle needs safety. And you also want the wagons that you'll eventually make to hit Barles. There it is. Dude, what are we witnessing? This is so funny, man. Are we going to see galleys versus war wagons? This game is crazy. This is kind of what I live for. I love for a meta being established and then having both players just doing something completely out of the box. I think ACCM is going out of the box because Barles went out of the box. But that's a good castle. That castle is as close to the shoreline as you could place it without it getting denied. Because otherwise the galleys could deny it. Drops a second TC to keep his eco flowing. I know people want turtle ships, but I think war wagons is actually the better play. I still think it all dies to longboats, though. I've never seen it before in my life. This would be a thing for community games, not a freaking $20,000 plus tournament. Longbow does 8 damage. I mean, the wagons are tanky, but the wagons don't dish out punishment like the longboats do. So I'm not even really certain those wagons are going to do much at all, unless they can cross the water. If they can cross the water, they do a lot. And Barles now has his galleys over here, so he is cutting ACCM off, so ACCM can't get to the outside with those vills, which eventually will be an issue. And now he's trying to stop the wagons. Ooh, but the wagons actually survive, and the wagons actually make it over here. Yeah, so this is the problem for Vikings, is they don't really have an easy answer to the wagons. Like, on land. But a couple monks could be good. Ooh, ACCM used the distraction! ACCM is gonna go through! This is so smart from ACCM. Look, he's like, I don't care about your TC, I've got wagons! Oh my god, it's a buffalo heist? He is right in there, guys. And this gets really messy for Barles. And meanwhile, everything is super nice for ACCM. Sometimes you just have to send it and commit. And that's precisely what ACCM just did. That's amazing damage. 15 Vils idle, plus 4 Vils idle. It would be devastating for Barles if he doesn't get this conversion. Life is not freaking fair. Oh my god. Dude, Barles is... I'm tilted for him. I'm tilted for him. He had a great position. He's taking out this TC, but these wagons have been such a pain. He will eventually sort it out. I need to calm down. He didn't lose many Vils. He does convert the wagon. He's on 2 TCs. He will take out this TC. So now ACCM is on 1 TC. And these Vils are just going to take whatever berries they can, I guess. So I think, all things considered, Barles in a very nice position. He's collected more res. His navy is going to dominate this game. I mean, long term, ACCM will probably have to farm in the middle, I guess. But ACCM has really made Barles work for this. And for that reason, it feels kind of close. Also, there's only 5 longboats. So Barles hasn't really committed beyond that. So maybe we could see a new dock for ACCM on the front and some turtles. That, to me, feels like the best possible play. Uh-oh. Dude, this is such an ACCM thing. Like, so many other players will not play this game how ACCM played it. ACCM took the elephants right away. ACCM then YOLO'd underneath the TC, which is really good. And now he's trying to sneak some Vils because he knows the longboats are out of position. I gotta give huge credit to Barles, though. He's had outposts around the sides, just in case. And the war wagon he converted does notice this. So he'll snipe 1 Vil, could maybe be more. And ACCM's not really making a ton of progress with this at all. And oh god, now the war wagons are over here, though. That TC may complete for Barles. Oh, he pulled the weak Vils away? There's still this to look at. Nice save from Barles. He actually saves all the Vils, completes a TC, converts a war wagon, still tracking these Vils. Still 15 more villagers for Barles. And 3 TCs, verse 2. And he has the longboats. And the efficiency for ACCM is not great in the middle. He does have 3 TCs now. He's going to try and come back into this game. Man, if Vikings had good monks, this game would be so over because Barles would just be making 3 monasteries and converting everything. The fact that Viking monks are really weak does give the war wagons some potential. But he's still gotten enough conversions to be very happy. The sneak villagers for ACCM went down. And Barles, even though it's been awkward, he's got the worker lead. Free wheelbarrow, free handcart with the Vikings. And the longboats, the castle now, all these things should help protect him in some ways. He's actually going to expand his walls here so the war wagons can't get too close. Vikings don't make monks, they raid monks, yeah. How important has the water been on this? Barles is pretty far away from the Imperial Age, but obviously with the Imperial Age, he could just make trebs and treb this down, and it's over. So that's kind of the game plan. For Barles, it's hold, stabilize, get your eco to a good spot, get imp, win the game. For ACCM, he has to keep trying to make some things happen on land. And he's going to keep trying. I mean, he's got wagons out, chipping away at longboats every now and then. Actually doing a pretty decent job. I'm really curious if it would be 10 longboats versus 10 war wagons, who wins? I think longboats should still win that, but here Barles is distracted, so... These war wagons also have the luxury of walking everywhere, and the longboats do not. Another castle for Barles just to protect eco. But ACCM's eco is looking pretty good all of a sudden. Only down by 4 vills. Didn't lose much in the middle. He's going to have 15 war wagons. I'm thinking about this. It feels like ACCM is going to start to pull a lot of his numbers together in the middle. And if he starts to win big fights, he might actually walk forward and try and drop a castle somewhere. Now, he can't castle here. Right now, he doesn't know that Barles is there. But Barles is struggling to deal with this. And he's no longer making the longboats, which seem very strong here. Oh, man, Barles, dude. Stay the safety of your TCs, man. He's going to do that now. He really needs that farming eco. It's getting better. It's better than ACCM's is, ever so slightly. The vills in the middle are visible for Barles. And so he sees them and is just going to snipe them. Again, you'd have to farm in the very middle of the map for these longboats not to hit you. That's a great find for Barles. Devotion now. And enough stone for a castle. This all feels like a forward castle for ACCM. Who still doesn't know about this castle. So the most logical castle spot is here. That's exactly where he would run if he thought he could do it. He's going to wait. He's getting ballistics now for his war wagons. Imp times could be pretty close, but I'm going to lean towards the Viking player. The farming eco still superior for Barles, plus the upgrades. Though no bowsaw kind of hurts a little bit. Random vill down here from Barles. ACCM's wagons headed this way. And Barles wants another castle to protect gold. Honestly, this is where Imp helps you more than anything, Barles. I get the thinking. Castle the whole map. Because you don't want these war wagons. Yeah, that's actually huge. Gets the conversion there. 2 conversions mean he can run over here to build this castle. And resources are rising. Castle will go up defensively here for ACCM. He's sending these war wagons back over here. This castle could be denied if ACCM continues to move that way. But he's also headed this way to keep Barles off the golds. 16 wagons. But what can ACCM do with them? Well, there he's going to snipe 2 monks. And he's going to try and run underneath the castle again. Barles, wise to it, goes for the quick wall. That's well played from both. Castle fire will hurt ACCM. War wagons that Barles have converted have been really important in this game. Sniped some vills with them. It gives them some type of ability to counterattack, which is nice. And Barles is up. Feels like every time you look at the eco of Barles, there's no more wagons in his base. It's constant. Whoa. Barles just bragging about the conversion there. But if Barles can get enough trebs and protect the trebs and take the middle, I think this becomes very interesting. Because the middle castle stops the navy from easily moving around the rest of the map. As much as he can pass around it, it's just super awkward. But then again, it's like the wagons are still so valuable on land on the outside. Well, that's the main reason trebbing the middle is helpful too, because you just take out the castle. Ooh, that's a big moment. ACCM wanted to drop a tower there. That got denied. Chat, who wins this game? It's 115 pop for both. The score is 1-1 in this series. What a series. What a round of 16. The round of 16 has been amazing here. In Wandering Warriors Cup 2. Obviously, slight bias. I'm the host, blah, 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 blah. But seriously, games have been incredible. Upgrades come in. This will apply to those longboats. You can also get elite longboat. I think ACCM should plan for life without this castle now. And just try and give up the middle. Play towards docks. Yeah, play towards some war galleys maybe. Towers on the shoreline really help. All that wood, stone, and gold. Everything of importance is on the outside. Barles with 3 castles. Probably will have more soon. But he doesn't actually have a ton of stone to mine. There is this stone, I guess. Look at Barles place houses everywhere because he knows these wagons will be a threat. It feels like the simple move now, but it's really not. ACCM's all over him. ACCM's everywhere. Constantly trying. And the first click from ACCM and Imp is shipwright, which is super expensive. But if you're going to be competing on water long term, that's the upgrade to get. There's a lot of discounts associated with that. He's also trying to get Yupseong now, which will add to the tower range. I think that upgrade will complete. And ACCM is coming back on water. Who would have thought that we'd have a player abandoning the middle on Boundary Brawl? Who would have thought that we would now have both players out of the middle on Boundary Brawl going full Navy? 2 relics for Barles and the amazing Navy with the Vikings, but he doesn't have anything on land. Like, Barles needs full walls, I think. Because even if 5 wagons get into the back of his eco, it's a pain. That's still pretty good, though. The castles are killing a lot. The longboats are weakening. And now, Galleon coming in for ACCM. I'm worried that Barles isn't going to be able to combine land and water all that much. And that he won't be able to freely take areas. Like, right now, he can't expand to this gold. He needs to. ACCM can go everywhere. Anywhere he needs to be, he can go. Because there's nothing to raid from Barles. And this is another example of it. And so, Barles has to respect this crazy navy that's about to come out. Because Korean Navy's top tier. But also, he's got these tiny little raids from wagons having a big effect. And so, for that reason, I'm actually leaning towards ACCM here. Yes, he's behind 20 vills. But the position on the map is sick. And anything like relics, he can solve, obviously. He could snag these relics, maybe. So, in order to compete here, to be fully upgraded in Barles' position, he does need to snag Bog's Vigar, a.k.a. Bob's Vinegar. You need the Vinegar for the, what is it, +1 attack and +1 range? I think it's just +1 attack. It also adds +1 attack to their Arbalest line. Doubt we'll see that. I think Siege Ram could be really interesting here with elite longboats. Siege Ram is great to tank shots, great to push the base. And galleons don't do too much damage against Siege Ram, whereas elite longboats actually do. Wagons are still back here, by the way. Barles is just trying to ignore it everywhere he can, which is the right play. And here we go. There's more HP there for ACCM. Firing speed is something you have to factor in. It's so tough to judge a fight because the units are stacked for ACCM. And you can't see all the HP in the way we can when casting with Capture Age. But ACCM's winning this fight. He's winning the fight, and Barles needs to back away. So there's still the longboats around. There's, not the longboats, sorry. There's still the wagons around. And now there's the Navy. Also a tower here from ACCM. I'd expect more of this. Random towers around the map to deny resources from the Koreans. What does Guilds do? Oh, Guilds is a crazy one, man. Guilds is another tech that shows me that ACCM knows what type of game we're getting here. Guilds gives you a little bit more in return when you sell resources. So you can get that much more gold out of it. And towers continue to come up for ACCM. I mean, such a sick game for both. I explain the reasons I didn't like Barles' opening. I regret speaking that way now about the opening. Honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense. Life was a lot harder for ACCM in the mid-game, but then the comeback from ACCM to get to this stage, the amount of raids that he's been doing is constant. It's always something Barles has to pay close attention to. And ACCM's clearly paying attention. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go over here now. He did lose this tower, but he's going to creep slowly with more towers. And what ridiculous fights here. Oh, my word. Barles still doesn't have Bogsvigar. Or Bogsvigar. He doesn't have that yet. He needs it. And then if he has it, the fights will be a little bit closer. The reason that ACCM's dominating the fights, though, is because of numbers. And he's just got numbers on water. He's just got more everywhere, right? Because I guess he did lose his wagons. So it is full water. This Navy's ridiculous. There's capped ram for Barles. I still believe in that. I think it can be really strong, but he has to be careful. What a naval battle here. Barles is trying to dive to snipe those cannon galleons. They're very costly for ACCM. But Barles does run into a lot of galleon shots here, so I'm not really sure this is worth it unless he kills every single one, which to me he is not doing right now. Also, Ville's farming in the middle for ACCM will take the Trebs, and that's a capped ram. So imagine what a siege ram can do, but is this enough for Barles? He just lost all of his population. He had the master plan, but ACCM is just held on. 54 galleons and 14 longboats. That fight was horrible for Barles. Just horrible. He needed more numbers. He's never been fully popped this game. He never committed to a huge ball of units like ACCM has. And honestly, shipwright played a huge role in what ACCM has been able to make here. Vikings have some natural discounts just with their civ bonus. There's only so many civs that actually get shipwright, but most of the best naval civilizations beyond Vikings do get it. Siege ram is in, though. I think you need 40 some longboats, 10 siege rams, and ACCM will be very surprised. Genuinely. It actually becomes a problem for ACCM. But, I mean, this. He's already taken the castle out. He's going to take another castle. He's going to start to make light cav for raids, bombard cannons for trebs. Vikings do not get bombard cannon. Both civs have horrible light cav. But, I mean, anything to raid in a game like this is still probably fine. Man, Barles, he lost his production, guys. He just got so overwhelmed. All of his docks are camped now. His castles are down. He's just scrambling. I don't know if he has the time. These elite cannon galleons just melt another castle. This is what I mean about the siege rams. If he had the navy he had before with these siege rams, it plays a pretty big role in the fights. That'd be his way back into the game, maybe. There's still so much going on over here. I think the Treb got sniped. Barles had a Treb here, sniped by the bombard cannons in the light cav. And the Rams went down, so now he's just outnumbered again. And surrounded again. And ACCM... He's got 60 military right now. And he's closing in on the heart of... I don't know what the heart is of Barles' eco, but I would consider this it. So if he takes these docks down from Barles, Barles is toast. And the siege rams make the difference. They're tanking a lot. Definitely is making ACCM work a little bit more with the fights too, because you can't just patrol in. If you just patrol in, then all your shots go onto the ram. This is what ACCM is trying to avoid doing. Expensive losses for ACCM. Normally, I'd think that this is really bad, but he does have... he does have some gold around the map, but so does Barles, so... And Barles is 3k gold. Man, if Barles... I mean, the Rams have changed things. If he could just get more docks, if he can cram more docks underneath this castle to get more longboats. Dude, he's gonna go berserks? Okay, well, there is a crazy reality where... A crazy possibility where ACCM can win water and Barles can clear the sides with berserks and rams. Like, imagine 20 berserks, 5 siege rams right here. It all dies. Same with down here. It's probably the right call, actually. I don't know if it'll work. It's probably the right call because there's no coming back on water now. He needs it. And he has to somehow avoid the shoreline. Upgrades are coming in. Does Barles have the food for this? He has the castles in some positions. Heated shot flies in for ACCM. There could be a scenario where ACCM has to delete ships for pop space. If the elite berserk ram train gets too crazy, he might have too much on water. What a game. What a game. ACCM will see this, and he's starting to make cav archers. I'm assuming that's intentional. I mean, Korean cav archers are cheap. They're mobile. May have been a misclick, but I think he wants that with some hand cannons. But he doesn't have an easy answer to the rams. And here comes the rams. Berserks hop out of the rams. Berserks kill the bombard cannons. Berserks are in this ram, making a push. But now there's going to be raids from ACCM. Guys, this is crazy. They are both going to have significant problems holding things down for one reason or another. I'm still leaning towards ACCM because the Navy is accomplished so much already. But he needs an answer to the Berserks and the Rams on both sides, not just one. And there's Chieftains now, so Barles will actually get a little bit of gold income for any kills he gets with the Berserks. Onager would actually be really sick for ACCM to flatten a big group of Rams and Berserks at once. So he's got 52 galleons. Just keep an eye on that. Because I think he may hit a point where he realizes he's completely on water and he can't have 50 galleons anymore. He needs like 30. Pop is actually even. Barles is making progress here. Barles is also taking big losses to the cannon galleons. He has no answers to the Navy now. Barles lost his relic. ACCM doesn't have any. But ACCM has a lot of time. He's actually got pretty pop capped here. So he's adding houses, but he's adding houses next to Rams. A castle from Barles? There's still nothing here. ACCM's still super housed. What units is he supposed to make against this? He would need a combination of things, which he can't necessarily afford. Random siege workshop from Barles for more Rams to come out. Meanwhile, Barles is telling his people, get to the corner. Get to the edge of the map. Quick. Dude, what is this? Barles, is he doing it? Look at the progress these Rams are making. The Rams have been a game changer here. Look. Say goodbye, bombard cannon. Say hello, Ram. Boom. That's so amazing, man. Look at ACCM's queue right now. He's completely rattled. I think eventually he needs to bring Navy. If you're going to have it, you need to bring it close to your base on the sides. And more Rams hop out again. But Barles needs Berserks with the Rams. I think just going Rams and then the light cap can get the snipes. Obviously, very intense moments, so they're just doing what they can when they can. Again, Cav Archer, soon heavy Cav Archer for ACCM. These Rams have done so much. This game's not ending anytime soon either, is it? Does it end when Barles runs out of resources in the outside? Or does it end when ACCM loses his entire base to Rams? I think ACCM is somewhat stabilizing. Somewhat. The crazy thing is, Barles has great castles to protect his eco in a lot of spots. So this castle prevents light cav raids, this castle prevents light cav raids, and this castle. This corner can be raided. If ACCM raids this corner, Barles is in big trouble. That's actually the key for ACCM. On top of holding, obviously. If you just hold, you probably eventually win, but how are you supposed to have the army to hold and also have the population on the water still? That's a lot of rams. Barles is choo-choo. Look at him go, dude. No, this just isn't enough from ACCM. Say goodbye to your tower. Say goodbye to your TC. The castle will fall as well. If he goes for the castle, I don't think that castle stands up or stays up. Yeah, listen, when the Vils attack the ram, you just eject the berserks, and yeah, bye-bye Vils. Barles is doing this. Or is he? I don't know. Best game of the tournament? Probably. TC down for ACCM. Castle's gonna fall for ACCM. There's even a Trev from Barles. He's still got random rams down here. What is happening? What is happening? Barles refuses to die. Listen, if you lose your TC like that and you've lost this many Vils, you're not really replenishing that either. So even just taking out the TC in late game is super big. He's having to rebuild TCs over here now. I still think ACCM is just one raid away from clearing up so much in Barles' base, but he doesn't have the time. The Berserks and the Rams. How often do you see this? They're making some real progress here. Now, it still feels so painful to be ACCM and have all this population not help you. But is he attacking the market or the castle? Okay, he's attacking the castle. So that's big because that castle will fall. Realistically, unit-wise, I think ACCM can just continue to use light cav because it's some type of melee unit. But they still die so quickly to berserks. You just hope the cav archers can kill the berserks when the berserks pop out. And he's getting close to getting the shot, the kills there. Okay, ACCM has noticed this corner now. Barles is starting to drop barracks because he knows he's been spotted. The progress for Barles is still happening. And honestly, maybe even TC's over here. A gold here. All this stuff. So valuable. 14k gold left. Yeah, see, without that castle, now Vils start to die. This is my worry for Barles. Even though he's making all this progress, I think that eventually his Vils just disappear so much faster. I could be wrong, though, because there will be pikes out. Then the cav archers have to go over there. Man, this is crazy. If ACCM deletes 20 or 30 ships, is it worth it, guys? It's such an expensive thing. You fought so hard to get those ships. I guess it's got to be worth it, though, to delete 20 of them. Just some of them. It doesn't feel natural. Especially when you're starting to hold a little bit. But this TC gets denied. Barles still has crazy res. And ACCM is at 180 pop. 83 Vils. I think Barles needs this raid to do damage. Because if he doesn't, the cav archers will go here. And Barles cannot just survive with pikemen. Also, ACCM, it's about time to get those relics. Look at... Did he rebuild a TC in the middle? The middle became the safest spot. So he made a new eco here. That's so funny. He definitely lost that TC earlier. Holy crap. Can you win this game if you're Barles? Yes. If you keep pushing. You need to make progress on the sides. Kill everything that ACCM has. I don't know. I think ACCM's got enough pop to hold now, guys. Before, the issue was he didn't have enough population space or just resources to pop up on the outside. Now, he's got just enough on the outside each time to stop a wave. It's expensive. Don't get me wrong, but he is kind of slowing things down. Barles just keeps coming. Every time I think he's dead, he just keeps coming with another shipment of pikes and rams. He's losing some berserks here. That ram took out a bombard tower because siege rams are insane. I feel like the infantry fans of the world, the ram fans, really want Barles to win this game, huh? Look at the amount on each resource for ACCM. He's got 44 on wood, 10 on food, 8 on gold, which means he has 50 idols. That navy's still so helpful if you get anywhere near the shoreline. And the cav archers can kill this. That's my issue. So then Barles has to go skirms? Dude, I love Barles so much. Okay, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but let's go Barles! Dude, this is insane. How can you not root for this? Come on, Barles. Keep going, dude. This is ridiculous. He also just found this gold. And he's still got this gold. He's got so much gold. I think he's going to lose a lot of his pop to the cav archers, though. Still no castle here is a problem. So he's got to push. Here come the rams. ACCM doesn't have anything here. He's completely naked. He's got like 4 units of protection. And the rams are coming to town. Dude, take the houses. Take the ranges. Take it all. Okay, well, cav archers are coming back. And that makes sense. And that does actually save Barles in some ways, right? The more pressure that you apply, the less likely you're going to get hit anywhere else. Ooh, that's a big find for ACCM, though. He doesn't deny it. All right. Well, Ram Train Part 13. How much progress will Barles make? When will he run out of gold? He has 33 vills in queue. He has an amazing food bank, considering. And here we go. Yeah, ACCM... His economy is worse than Barles's. Like, he can't afford to get iron casting. He can't continually spam the light cav like he would want. You take out his buildings now, and then he also needs to replace stables and whatnot? It could be really complicated. It's an expensive loss, though, for Barles, if you think about it. He took out a stable. He took out some barracks, some ranges, some houses. But he hasn't made any real progress. And ACCM is back on this gold. Oh, man. ACCM and Barles. What a game. What a series. It kind of feels like whoever wins this brawl is going to have such a massive physical, mental edge headed into Game 4, right? It would be truly something to lose this game, win the next game, and then win the game after that. After how tightly contested this game has been. This is exhausting. Another day. Another ram. And another ram that ACCM will kill. He actually attack rounded that. Normally I would say that it would make sense for ACCM to drop a tower here. But with so many rams, I don't think it's worth it. He had lost so many towers this game. So I would say there's no sense in buying towers. Okay, so let's think about this if ACCM wants to raid. So to stop Barles from taking res, he needs to get directly to the corners, which is impossible because there's castles. He could maybe raid this, which is an important one. But yeah, otherwise he kind of needs siege of his own. And for that he needs pop space, which he doesn't have. Barles is running out of wood. Pretty soon, the only corner where he could realistically take wood is here. And I don't know how realistic it is for him to make a skirm switch now. Because you kind of... He's been in this state of where he needs to do everything immediately right now for like the last 20 minutes. If there was a time for a skirm switch, it would have happened before. And then that's 20, 30 pop he didn't have doing what he's been doing. ACCM is going to immediately take out the TC. He's going to send Vils over to that gold, take what he can. There's only 6k gold left on the map now. So they're both fighting over the golds on either side. Guys, I just don't see Barles winning it. I just don't. I don't think he's going to resign anytime soon. But the water control controls so much of the wood that's remaining, of the map that's remaining, even hitting that gold there. And, well, okay, here's another choo-choo train. He's trying again, but he's so heavily outpopped. Before it worked because ACCM didn't have so much army. It's just such a long, slow journey to get here. It gives ACCM the time. And every ram snipe, every berserk snipe, so valuable here for ACCM. There was a tower there from Barles a second ago just to try and hold control of that gold. Oh boy, that hurts for ACCM. He's trying to raid. He's distracted by the rams. And he'll take out the ranges. But ACCM's taking this gold. ACCM is slowly closing in on Barles everywhere. Look at Barles cram that lumber camp into the edge of the map to get wood. He's in trouble, man. And yeah, the pikes, they may kill a couple Vils, but ACCM's lost 130 Vils this game. He doesn't care. That's just more pop space. He'll get back onto that gold. Or not. Barles will drop the tower. The Ram's still moving through. Ram will be killed off. And ACCM's just survived another wave. And Barles is probably going to mass up another wave. But can he now? He kind of can. He's got 1,000 food with 26 Vils in the bank. He kind of can. Ooh, ACCM's also starting to snag the relics. I think Barles wants to do that too. It says he has monks out, but I'm not really sure where they are. Ah, they're right here. Okay, so he's not able to get to the relics right now. I would normally say this is very nice to ram down the docks, but I don't think ACCM's ever going to need more ships. So, doesn't suit the situation. Oh boy, Barles is back. Barles is back. Back again. Slaughtering Vils. He's got 50 more Vils, guys. But is that going to last? Oh, this is insane. There's only 50,000 wood remaining, which has to be way more than what we started with. The mini-map doesn't actually reflect where the wood is sometimes, so it looks like there's wood here when there's not. ACCM, is he going to run out of wood? Well, he might run out of wood to take, but he has 4k wood in the bank. And Barles is nowhere near dead and nowhere near giving up. Right? Like, I think ACCM needs Trebs. But he has no castle. Of course he has no castle. ACCM! ACCM! Barles is going to play another 3 hours now. Ooh, that's costly, man. Because ACCM has no gold income except for this gold and the 2 relics. Oh my god, the villagers are coming in. Well, when things get this desperate, the village needs to support the troops. I don't know if murder holes has been researched in this game. ACCM will lose all those Vils if he stays there, so he'll run away. Okay, so actually he can't make Trebs, but if you use the bombard cannons, you can take out the castles. The castles he hasn't been able to raid because of. So bombard cannons can take this. And if bombard cannons take this, all of this dies to cav archers. What a game. I think Barles needs one more big ram push, but he kind of needs it from this side. Ooh, and he's getting raided. Yeah, this is where he would need the 5 rams, 30 pikes to push, but it's just so tough. He doesn't have the situation for it. And oh, his Trebs. His Trebs are getting sniped by the light cav. Barles is running out of steam. He's running out of steam. No, ACCM's doing it. What a find from ACCM. You could have 5 relics, but when are you going to find a monk and click it to a monastery when you're focused on all this? If you know your opponent doesn't have any relics, 2 relics is still insane. Look at the desperation attempt from Barles to take wood. He sacrifices 30 bodies just so these villagers can chop some trees. And they don't even get the bombard cannon. That's a problem. That's a big problem for these vills. I think it's slowly sinking in. The realization that he's lost this game for Barles. He was stocking up some berserks here to go for another raid. They go down. Here he can't take resources. He does still have some resources coming in here. All these vills are going down. His population is dropping. He is 9,000 score behind, which is... It's ridiculous that he's played on this long. He tried, but he could not break ACCM. ACCM came back in this game. I mean, the opening from Barles was insane. ACCM went for something that he probably never tried before. It would be crazy to me, even if ACCM practiced lots of sets, which I'm sure he did for this tournament, that he would have ended up with the conclusion that Fast Castle War Wagons was the play against longboats. I just think he thought through his other options. It didn't work. And guys, ACCM was raiding with those wagons constantly, and it just gave him time to cook himself back into the game. And then the shipwright tech and the dozen docks and the full navy was sick. I think completely surprised Barles. Barles probably thought, there's no way. Like, I'm ahead in water. I'm Vikings. There's no way I win water. But he did. And then Barles did everything he could. Absolutely everything he could. There is no other suggestion I could really give him. I know some people are going to say skirms. I do not think skirms would have done as much as you think, because then he wouldn't have had the population elsewhere. I think the losing situation for Barles was actually losing water. I think he had an edge on water. He saw the docks from ACCM. Remember, he took a really big fight, and I think he thought that fight was a winning fight for him, but he completely misjudged it. Maybe the game of the tournament, folks, but we're not finished. We still have more action here, and let's see if Barles can bring it back. Can you imagine? Like, Barles has done a lot of crazy things in his career. If he now wins game number 4 and then wins game number 5, his mental fortitude's got to be off the charts. That would just be... This would be so painful. You end the game and you look at this. You're like, what? I collected more of every single resource? Just adds insult to injury, man. Pain, 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 pain. But the KD, the trades, so good for ACCM. So good. Also, it doesn't show because this only shows top 3, but I'm guessing that Barles created close to like 70 or 80 rams. That was a lot of rams. And honestly, at some points, he was an extra 3 to 5 rams away from breaking ACCM more. The first couple waves made a lot of progress. If on the 3rd and 4th wave, maybe he had more and would have maybe even taken ACCM away from this corner, ACCM would have had nothing. A really smart move as well from ACCM to take the relics in the middle, to start to farm in the middle. That was something we picked up on at 1.2. But man, what a game. So I've got to get over that. I've got to somehow get over the game we just witnessed because we've got more games to cast. Barles, it would be a ridiculous comeback in this series if he can win that now, because losing that game feels like such a mental blow. Barles in the red immediately walks the direction his buffaloes have scouted ever so slightly, and both players actually end up as the Chinese. So both of the players have a free pick. It's a hidden pick at the start of the draft. So there's the potential that you could pick the same civ. It happens about 50% of drafts. And then in some cases in this tournament, we've seen instances where players will pick the same civ first, but they won't even prioritize the civ in the same map. In this case, Chinese for both of them. So even footing in terms of bonuses. And this map's also just absolutely crazy. Like, this map is, I would say, the most chaotic map, even though we just jumped out of a boundary brawl game, which was pretty good. To explain why Chinese are top tier, the weakness of Chinese is that they have no food. The benefit of Chinese is you get all the extra vills. because you start with a fishing ship on this map, by the time your TC completes, you have enough food for the next vill. So that's pretty much it. If we didn't start them with a fishing ship on this map, we would never see Chinese played. But because you have 0 seconds of TC idle time, you would be up like 2 to 3 vills over your opponent, combined with the cheaper techs and everything else. So fishing ship's a pretty big deal. Barles has a really nice TC position. He's on the wood and he's on the golds. And then ACCM also on the wood, on the golds. It's kind of tricky. We added these buffalo so players could scout their map. And we even changed the starting position of the buffalo. So the players, let's say the villagers started here. Initially, the buffalo were actually on the water side. But then we realized that didn't help them scout their map for the TC. So we actually moved the buffaloes a bit more inland. So we are seeing a few more TCs on the wood and the golds. Just because players have a little bit more time to scout there. But there's no guarantee of that. Like, we've seen players TC here, for example. And then have to build a mining camp for the gold. TCs look pretty comparable, pretty similar from what I can see here. I'd love to predict the opening for this map. But I could just tell you that we see water, we see land. It's just the timing of the water and the land. And it's purely execution from there. And really don't have much else to say until they get their openings down. So we'll see what we get to. Chat, thank you, everybody. Are you guys glad that you showed up on a Monday to watch that game? That previous game, I'm still not over it, man. It was so sick. Losing that game would be so brutal. Actually, I said that I had never lost a game quite like that. And so I couldn't give tips to Barles on how to mentally recuperate. I just thought of a game. So it wasn't a tournament. And so it wasn't the same level of seriousness. But I did play a show match against Nili. Right before Nili retired. And we played a Langanati game. I don't know if you guys know the map. But basically there's... Usually the games are pretty fast. You don't see games go to Imp. You have to control the gold. It was Franks vs. Poles. And I made like 250 Paladin. And somehow still lost. It was a crazy raiding game where like 400 plus villagers died, and it went to even longer than the previous game. And then what happened in the next game was I was exhausted, I was already down, and I said, it's just a show match, let's go YOLO. So it did affect how I played the next games. I wouldn't expect Barles to say, well, whatever, losing in the round of 16's fine. I wouldn't expect him to have any of those little compromises in his mind. So he's got to push back here. ACCM's the chaos guy. So if anyone's going to go forward dock or army in the middle first, I would say ACCM would probably do that. Barles kills the rhino. Nice job. But I could easily see ACCM also going for some type of galley play. Though I'm wondering... Can someone tell me what side of the bracket Vinchester and ACCM are on? Because I'm seeing this right now. And this seems eerily similar to the series earlier today. You have the villager walking across the map, finding some extra buffalo. It's a different civ. But it feels very similar to what Vinch did against Hart earlier. And they're on the same side of the bracket. Okay, so... But when would they face each other? Like, does the winner here face the winner of Hart Vinch, which happened earlier? Or would there be another series? Because I know right now, ACCM, but just because of his time zone, there's not many players at a convenient time that would likely be able to train with him. And Vinchester's actually very close to ACCM's time zone now. And I heard rumors that maybe they were doing some training. I heard another pro player mention it, so I'm not spoiling anything. This has to have been something that they determined. We've got the forward dock now from ACCM. And Barles, he's going to drop the barracks. Yeah, so it's the same build that Vinch did. Forward dock. And you try and go fires and archers. But the difference of what we've seen most other times in this tournament is that the fire pressure is coming right next to the opponent's fish. So usually you're thinking that you have a little bit more time to react to the fires. But that's going to be a lot of pressure for Barles now. Wow, okay, stable for ACCM. I wasn't expecting that. So he'll look to add some scouts. And stable from Barles. Okay. And they both have a lot of water buffalo. So they walked around with some vills. Found some of the extra buffalo, which is a pretty big deal. I've talked more about buffalo in this tournament than I ever expected. I've said the word buffalo a lot. And yeah, fire's there already. That's crazy. Barles doesn't even have a fire yet. He's actually really lucky because ACCM wasn't paying attention. And ACCM walked past the fish. Or I guess he didn't walk, but yeah, he sailed past the fish. Now he sees the fishing ship. And now Barles has his vills in the middle. He sees a scout. So it's going to be scouts for both. But Barles can kill the scout. And, ooh, that was some sick blocking there from Barles. And yeah, good luck controlling everything right now if you're these two players. I think this is where it just comes down to some crazy execution. You have to combine both. Either player could easily lose land or lose water. Smart from Barles to flee with this fish and just give that up so he can stabilize at home. And then I like the spearmen from both in the middle. And ACCM spear able to get a hit. You could just tell Barles noticed, like, right then. But there's just too many different things to look at right now. I can't really compare eco setups much. I mean, ACCM had 5 fishing ships. And then he added 2 more on the back end behind this. He actually has 2 docks back there, too, which is interesting. And Barles is only on 1 dock. That's actually pretty notable. But he's produced out of that dock the entire time. And he's going for archers. So he's going archers, spears, scouts. He's not really going for many fires beyond the 2 he's making. So I would lean towards Barles losing water if I had to choose. But you never really know. This has been the hill that's dominated games. Controlling the hill means you control all the wood. You eventually control the opponent's golds. Scout loops around from Barles. He's building a tower here. ACCM is building a counter tower. The scouts for Barles were a little late to the party here. But now he shows up. Vil will die for Barles. And that means he might not complete the tower. And ACCM scouts looping around. ACCM's going to complete his tower. Barles, tower denied at 96%. That is an investment, man. Like, you don't have the ability to build the defensive tower. So you need your tower to do something. And man, that was very reminiscent of the first game where ACCM just knows when he needs to defend. And just YOLOs up a defensive tower. And ACCM does defend. So, 4 fires for ACCM. 2 are here, and the others are, I guess, moving forward. Barles only 2 fires, and he's going to go for the second dock now. But he's farming a ton, and he's thinking Castle Age. And a nice cleanup there from Barles. Barles kills the scout. Barles will kill the spear. Like, ACCM doesn't really have a lot of land army momentum right now. There's a good chance that Barles makes the Castle Age faster. Simultaneously loses his fish. But simultaneously gets, like, a night or 2 out or some siege on ACCM. And this game just gets as crazy as the other one was. Barles knows he needs more fires. He's had the time. He's added the dock now. Does need to repair or block. Which he's struggling to do, but it's a nice save. Yeah, maybe just giving up the fish so you don't lose your ships is acceptable. ACCM's army's headed this way. And Barles is headed this way. And he actually attacks the dock. So ACCM should get that notification and can save the Vil. But Barles saves his fish. Barles keeps 5 fishing ships alive. They're not working, but he can fix that. But now Barles has issues on his wood line that he needs to defend from. If Barles keeps walking, he can kill all 4 of these villagers with this army. But it's just such a weird army to control right now. He's got so many other things he needs to do. Defend on water. Check. Wall up the land. Check. Add the farms. Create the army. How does Barles have 1 second of TC idle time? I would have like a century's worth of idle time based on everything that's happening right now. That's insane. I mean, maybe more like 2 minutes. But it's been ridiculous just how much action that's seen here. Again, I think Stranded is actually the most difficult map in the pool. Especially if you're up against someone like ACCM who's just done what you've done. The forward dock shenanigans just makes it so messy. Still is 5-0 Eco KD for ACCM. He hasn't lost a Vil yet. And as Barles gets the full walls down... Well, it's not full walls. He could still be pushed off of gold. They both click up at the same time, guys. They just picked up where they left off in the previous game with how even this is. Slight lead for ACCM with 300 res collected. But 300 res is just like... That's nothing at this point. It's a very small percentage of what's happening. I still keep thinking about the water, though. Because ACCM continually has more fires. Now, Barles is always... It seems like he's always producing a fire to stabilize. But still, I mean, that's going to be a pretty big swing. ACCM has 9 fishing ships out there. And if he kills the 5 from Barles, and he's already killed 5 eco this game, it should be a really good position for him. ACCM's micro top tier here, sniping the spears. Oh, and he snipes the archer as well. He focus fired there. That was not luck. He focused down the spears initially, and then that last little volley from the archer went to the weak archer because he knew it was weak. Yeah, and this is where I'm worried for Barles. It's the water. A lot to focus on land. And the fish are just continually being pressured here. He will sacrifice a fishing ship to get a block. ACCM sees that, backs away. Barles is going to have 8 archers. I don't know where they are. It seems like they're split up. He's got 3 down here. Feels like the archers are going to have to be the difference maker. Or whatever he makes out of this one stable. ACCM is going to focus on knights. And doesn't snag the War Galley upgrade yet. ACCM probably will snag that. And he's just falling back over here. And he sees the archers. There's crossbow. There's bodkin there from Barles. Okay, so Barles is going to go crossbow. ACCM is going to go knights. There is a difference here. But there will be siege for ACCM. So we talked about just how nerve-wracking it is to focus on everything. And now Barles needs basically picture-perfect crossbow micro with the crossbows he has. And then he needs to ensure that he doesn't lose fish. Again, speaking of normal players, this is where normal players would make a mistake somewhere. Dives through. I think Barles knows he's going to lose water. So he's like, just give me some fishing ship kills. Really nice from Barles. He gets 2 fishing ships. And now his crossbows with bodkin. Gonna loop this way. You know what's crazy? I've seen a lot of people come chase in a scenario like this, and then they leave the hill, and then the other guy comes forward and takes the hill. And then we're talking about how important the hill is. Look at ACCM right now. He knew the army was there. He's not giving up the hill. He will take out the range, and then he will loop back. That's very interesting. He had 4 Vils here, ran them away, had all these Vils on wood, moved them away. Sees the crossbows. Still not really giving any power to these crossbows. Still being patient, waiting for the scorpions, I guess, and still pushing. That's crazy. That's so good. You've got to see, like, 10 steps ahead to be able to do what ACCM just did right there. And essentially realize that he could set up his eco where Barles can do no damage. Barles is doing damage, though. ACCM is trying to push down the front of Barles' base. He has the scorpions here. Still a couple fish for Barles. Not that big a deal at this point. Scorpions are. The Scorpions are exposed. ACCM needs to be careful here. Barles trying to snipe the Scorpions. He is also ignoring the army that is at his base right now. It's pretty ridiculous what we're seeing right here. 1 Scorpion down. 2 Scorpions down. All 3 Scorpions are going to go down. Barles, he can camp pretty much the main wood line for ACCM and the golds. And ACCM needs to come home at some point. He did get crossbow himself. He still has no bodkin. Of course, he has no ballistics, but he just keeps slowly creeping in, putting Barles under pressure. ACCM's got 5 knights, and he's just going forward. This is crazy. This is like me avoiding my responsibilities in life. At some point, you got to go deal with this. It's crazy to me that ACCM just continues to just pile on the pressure on the front and ignore this where he can. And it's working out. It's really smart because he already took out 1 range. He'll now pressure the next range. So crossbow production's awkward for Barles. And Barles also stable too. So Barles is just losing production buildings. ACCM's got enough here. Scorpion, Knight, Tower, Monk. Or maybe he feels he's got enough to eventually defend from this. Scorpion goes down. The Monk goes down. It's not pretty. But he's still on the hill. Refuses to leave the hill. And as long as he's on the hill, Barles can't one-shot his Mangonel. Barles 65 vills right now. I think... I'm really torn on this. Like, this level is insane. I really hope we get to a 5th game. It's likely we can do that because Barles has the Zico lead, but he now needs to micro this down. He needs to recover with numbers and deal with this. So maybe now is the time to deal with this. But to do that, you need a stable again, I think. But even then, I don't even know if he has the food. Okay, there's the stables. Like, can he get enough knights out or camels of his own? Camels, I think, are good if ACCM doesn't have a lot of crossbows. I actually don't mind the camels at all. I understand why you look at this and you think, well, he's on crossbow. Maybe you shouldn't go camels, but I think it's okay. If that gets up to 15, it gets more awkward, though, so the timing needs to be soon. Bloodlines now for Barles. He'll make a mix of knights and camels. And Barles firing uphill! What a play! He pops out of the TC with those crossbows to finish off the Mangonel, and we know ACCM would have waltzed forward there with a villager and repaired that. That was disgusting from Barles. And now he has ballistics, so he could snipe some of those range units. And all of a sudden, Barles on top of the hill. He's getting close to on top of the hill. These are still +2 knights. Barles may enter a situation where he sees the army he has and thinks it's better and dives before having any armor on the camels. That could be a problem. You can fight without your own +2 with camels versus knights, but you need to have at least 1 armor, 1 attack upgrade, in my opinion. Being down 3 upgrades versus the knights is an issue. But he's got so much time for that. He's got 3 TCs. 77 eco versus 64. The armor upgrade's on the way. Monk for ACCM is going to get a conversion, which is frustrating. And it will die. ACCM is going to need a big siege shot. That and an engagement on the hill. And this is a slightly higher hill, which we never really talk about because like, usually the game's over because someone controlled the hill and we just, GG next. But man, what a game. It's not just the coffee, right? This is actually insane. Like, you guys are also mind blown by the level we're seeing here. You guys would also be mildly heartbroken if we don't get to see a 5th game between these two. This is so good. Also, very impressed with Barles yet again that he's recovered. He is in the better position right now, in my opinion. I think the Navy on the outside is just adding score to ACCM and really nothing else. The upgrades are looking good. The army comp's really good. It's going to be Siege, Knights, and the occasional Monk for ACCM against Siege, Camel, Monk, Crossbow with Ballistics. If the crossbows are out of the equation, ACCM wins the fight. If the crossbows stay alive, I think Barles wins the fight. Oh, man. I mean, either player might consider buying some stone to drop a castle, too. There's not a lot of stone on the map, so you would need to purchase it. Oh! 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 Barles! He advances up the hill. His crossbows were on the other side. And ACCM gets the shot that he wanted. Disaster for Barles. And ACCM's got 15 knights, man. He's got 15 knights. He has the TC on the hill. He has the +2 armor. And now Barles is just going to give up on crossbows. And he's just going to stay on camels, which is completely fine. But, like, oh, man. I mean, again, the consistency has been so good from both of them. And just one tiny little misplay. One tiny little mistake. He did try and micro it, too, but the shots just hit him at the wrong time. That mistake might be something he comes to regret here. I don't know. Like, sometimes I can't even really put words to it. But ACCM just does a really good job at not taking damage. I really can't... At certain points, I can't really fully describe it to you. It's the way his base is structured. It's how much army he has. It's the positioning of it. Now he's going to lose his mangonels because I said that. But has the monks there. He gets some conversions. He's fighting on the hill. Barles has some monks. Camels counter knights, right? The knights had the hill. Another knight now. Monk now for ACCM. He falls back to the hill. There's another monk. He also has the TC to garrison. I think Barles is winning the fight. Barles is winning the fight, but he cannot push. He cannot break the line right now. Not with camels. He can't stay underneath the TC. And both players have bodkin too, so you really can't be underneath the TC with these armies at all. ACCM's been taking the stones. He finished that stone. He's got this stone now. ACCM wants a castle. He's been patient. He backs away. He'll convert one camel. He'll lose the monk. Oh my god. It's going to end with this. Are you kidding me? They are both going to drop a castle at the same exact time. Water Buffalo, move. Water Buffalo, move. There's the castle. Barles is going to drop the castle. That could send us to a game 5. What will ACCM do? ACCM drops his own castle. I think the army count is higher for ACCM, but Barles kind of has this blocked off right now. And Barles is imping as well. If Barles completes his castle, goes up to imp, as he quick walls it, he might be able to treb this down, but he's got no army now. So kind of a horrible fight for Barles that he had to take just so he can complete his castle. And will it go up? No way. No way. No way. He's microing it. He's microing it. Move. Micro. Move. Micro. Move. Micro. Boom. He gets the castle up. Barles with a god tier play. With the walls around the vills. The micro of the vill within his own gate. I would click the gate and build it by accident. The castle goes up. But will it stay up? Because there's two different lines of thinking here. ACCM has the army, and he's bringing in the rams immediately. And then Barles is not really able to push ACCM's castle, and he's waiting for imp. Yeah, true, he might have a space for a treb here. But if your castle's down, you're in trouble. God, what a crazy, crazy series. I think this is the best I've ever seen Barles play, honestly. He's played amazing. In Titans League, and obviously qualifying for Hidden Cups, King of the Deserts maybe. Lots of team game tournaments. ACCM is just about to take out the castle when his opponent's an imp. So Barles has kind of a tricky situation right now. Because stone is not easy to come by. He may never get another castle. And Chinese don't get bomber cannon either. So he's going to have to fight with stronger tech, which, you know, Camel could be, in every other area. Right on the right side he tries. ACCM has a couple monks around. Now ACCM is going to start to push his base. And ACCM's also clicking up to Imp. There goes Barles with his camels. Probably lose a couple. But I agree with the thinking. You just got to take fights. And then you have to stop this at the same time. The last thing you want to do is defend right now. So he's garrisoned. He's attacked the ram. He's repairing. He will have heavy camel here. Yeah, I mean, I think it all comes down to how much damage he does with the raid, right? If he can get some crazy damage in with these camels, ACCM can't really stop those camels once they're heavy camel. That looked painful for Barles, but let's see what happens to ACCM now. ACCM's Imp TC. Dude, he chose this Imp TC. Like, I actually think Barles could take out the TCs with the heavy camels. So that's a smart move. But look at the raids. Chukunu will be great long term. My audio just got super weird, by the way. I don't know if it's different for you guys. Barles 100 vills. He's only 6 vills down, and he's building another castle. That's huge. Did he buy that? Okay, so he spent like 1,000 gold to buy a castle. He's raiding ACCM big time right now. And ACCM, he's not going to have much of an army, guys. The Imp armor and the heavy camel upgrade has paid off massively. And as if it's almost the theme of this game, it was another example of not giving power to your opponent and coming back home. What Barles just did. Now, he might regret it, but this raid, so many people would not have gone for this raid. They would have just come home to clear this up and given ACCM time. ACCM would have the Vil lead. ACCM would make it to Imp. ACCM would figure it out. But now at least Barles has taken the Vil lead. 105 Vils. Treb is on the way for him. Treb will be on the way for ACCM. ACCM needs gold. Walls in his TC there. Here, ACCM's camels will survive a bit longer. And this is a relatively important hill, because it's directly next to all the TCs for Barles and the gold. ACCM doesn't really have the ability to snipe Trebs unless it's with his own Trebs. And he does see this. So I wonder what he'll Treb. Barles is trying to wait, I think. He's going to pop out and attack the TC right now. And ACCM's doing the same. There's a point where Camel doesn't look so good anymore. Once Imp upgrade Once Imp upgrades come in for ACCM. Say that 3 times fast. Think like, if this becomes Arbalest, 30 Arbs, then maybe instead of Camel, you would need Cavalier. I don't know if Barles has the opportunity to go skirms or catch up in the ranged unit battle. It feels like he doesn't have the time for that. You never have the time on Stranded. And now the Ram comes in from ACCM to go for the Trebs. That will not take out a Treb. And it is 2 Trebs for both right now. And Barles is Trebbing ACCM's Trebs. And ACCM needs to repair. This is ridiculous, man. Guys, they both have over 3 hours of idle time. The amount of ability that they have both shown here is unbelievable. But right now, if Barles could push the middle, I think he can make it happen. He's still got 15 more Vils. He's got really nice army numbers. It's just, is Camels it? Is it worth making Knights even without Cavalier just to have a little bit more tankiness? There's very little stone on the map, so Barles can't really repair anymore. He's trying to. He's attempting to buy stone right now. He sold food, he didn't buy the stone, and he loses his castle. How important will that be ACCM will have 4 trebs. Barles will never have a treb again if he loses these 2. And ACCM creating choke points for the ranged units. No, Barles! How does ACCM keep doing this? Barles is going to raid in 2 different spots now. So ACCM's thinking, I'm winning. I'm pushing the mid. And then he's losing Vils. Oh, man, the treb bugged out. So I don't think he has enough time to pack that one up. I don't know what's happening to that treb right now, but that's going to be the last treb for Barles going down. And there's the Cavalier click. But ACCM, even though his idle time's ridiculous, and he has so little gold, guys. He has 1 on gold, which is this Vil. He does have the better position for a Chinese war, I would say. You want to switch into ranged units here. If your opponent's gone full cav. I don't think Halb is possible. There's not enough time to think about that, but that would be good too. For now, you just invest everything you can into the ranged units you've got. It's kind of crazy. Barles had to make camels, right? He had to, because there were so many camels from ACCM. He couldn't have gone knights. I think the timing on him going Cavalier right now is the correct play. But if things could have gone slightly better, where he would have had a big ball of Cavalier instead of a big ball of camels, he could have done a lot more to raid, take out TCs, and now be able to dive the Arbalest. ACCM is down 50 Vils. 50 Vils! And Barles is going to try and switch into Skirm. As he's losing his starting base, he's going to switch into Skirm. He needs something. Like, I think a combo of Cavalier and Skirm is good, but you have to wait till the Skirms are out in numbers. You need time. And ACCM has to ensure he doesn't give his opponent time. Just push all the time. I also think you can't overextend too far from your castle if you're ACCM. Because if you get caught out here, you're not getting back to your hill. This is ACCM's perspective. He's being raided over here. He'll lose even more Vils. And then he's got the Arbs in the middle. And he sees the Skirm switch. 40 villager lead for Barles. But he's like running out of space and resources. This gold is critical. 30 on food is huge. The ranges he has are great. Skirm numbers getting higher. Still can't make trebs unless he finds enough stone for a castle somewhere. There's only 350 stone on the map, so he's not going to find it. Chemistry's needed for the Skirms. That might be impossible now. Because his base might get smashed much further. He's lost all of his TCs. Barles doesn't have a way to make more Vils. But can he win the fight? Fight for game 5. Is this it? Barles is going to dive here. He has the Skirms with solid enough upgrades to take out the Arbs. ACCM doesn't have a great economy. Can he afford to make more trebs? He's got nothing on golds. And most of the trebs are going to go down. I think you'll take that. Like 4 out of the 5 is still huge. This gives Barles time to breathe a little bit. And he's got no TCs. So he can't reboom. If he loses Vils, he's going to drop one now. And then ACCM has TCs, but he doesn't really have, like, any map control. Yeah, Barles should be buying stone to drop TCs. I think the key moment right here for Barles is to raid with your cav. You already killed the death ball. It takes time for your opponent to build back up. You just now go destroy everything else with your cav. You get back here. And then you can leave your Skirms. I don't think you can leave your Skirms in a situation where ACCM is showing he can make his own cav. But right now, this is very winnable for Barles. He's going to find the gold miners there that ACCM's been heisting with. ACCM seems stuck right now. No chemistry for Barles, but like his food eco is somehow amazing. His gold eco might not be, though. Still only 3,000 gold left. And there's about to be no gold left on that tile, and he has to shift over to this gold. Anyone else interested in seeing a best of 101 between Barles and ACCM on these maps? Because I think we could probably fill up an entire year's worth of content with these two. It would take 4 hours a game. We would just do one game every other day. And we'd be set. Makes life really easy. We don't have to overcomplicate anything. It would be a draw, yeah. Oh, man. Who's going to die faster here? ACCM is going to get raids, and Barles has to abandon all of this eco. And now ACCM just lost his TC, and he's getting raided, and he's going to lose his eco. How is this game somehow even crazier than the previous one? This is insane. ACCM's Lightcav can get the raids in, right? And I think it's a really good move. But they don't help him handle the skirms. So the skirms are still in a high enough number where Barles will kill any ranged unit that's out there. And the food eco is not really even there for ACCM to make a lot more cav in the first place. Look at Barles focusing down the arbs. Oh, man, they're both losing so many vills, though. Barles needs more skirms for these arbs right now, and he's losing all of this area. Oh, man, he's running away. ACCM's TCs just permanently garrisoned here. And Barles is trying to reboom on the right side. He's trying to reboom in the north. He found stone. What is happening? This is insane. They're both kind of dead. They're both different levels of dead. I think Barles just needs to take out the town centers. Just take it out. Why not? You could still make a few more cav. He's hoping to make skirms in defense for the arbs. Man, he would kill to have that final armor and chemistry. Oh, no, he has chemistry, but he doesn't have the armor. And that means ACCM will actually win that fight with the light cav there, too. It was like 170 pop versus 150, and now it's 120 for both. They both lost over 100 eco this game. And now ACCM's going to lose even more. He's losing his Arbalest. Slowly. Surely. He's losing it. He's repairing his TC. He'll lose his Vills. Over here, Barles can't eject. Who has less space right now? I guess Barles does? They're both now at 100 pop? Eventually, they just both hit a wall where they can't produce anything. I'm seeing more active farmers for ACCM, but Barles just added a bunch. Still a couple skirms killing arbs. Well, ACCM's not going to let this TC go down. He's got enough vills. He is also... I can't speak. He is also going to grab the relics again. And now the final armor upgrade is coming in for Barles, which was the main issue with his skirm situation. Once that's solved, the arbs can't get anywhere close to the skirms. Ram did go down. Cavalier from Barles going here. They're both at 90 pop! They're both dead! Also, the TC here for Barles went down. Man, it's amazing to me we've ended up in this situation after how the previous game went. I don't know if I've ever seen games become this crazy back to back. Like, maybe the best game in the entire tournament was the previous one. If we wouldn't have seen the previous one, we might be saying this is the best game of the tournament, just purely on the ridiculousness of it. There's, like, no resources left on the map. Barles has lost his whole starting base. ACCM has lost most of his starting base. And there's 0 on gold for ACCM. And there's, like, 2 on gold for Barles. I don't even know what that is at this point. Yep, this seems normal. Trebuchet. Last Trebuchet ACCM will have in a while. Going to be killed by villagers. Oh, don't take the TC, though. That would be so unfair to Barles. Ooh, that TC almost went down. It's actually a pretty big deal that he can't garrison in that, though. Populations haven't really gotten better. ACCM will have relics. He still has a castle. So I would say bring vills to anywhere around the castle and you're safe. So that should honestly be where you farm. Barles is going to try and come back over here with another TC. And he's raiding the vills here. Again, he cannot garrison in this TC. And you might not realize in the moment. I know it's on fire, but you might just still try and send the vills to work. Is ACCM luring that camel out of position into the castle intentionally right now? I don't know if it was intentional, but he doesn't want to give up this gold. He doesn't want to allow Barles back. And he spotted this almost immediately. He just will not give Barles any chance to breathe. It's a lot of farms to take as well. You could farm heist, honestly. Barles got a relic. It's 40 on food for both, so cav spam is doable. If that's the case, the upgrades are better for Barles. But he doesn't have Arbalest, which could be helpful against any camels. He does have the skirms, though, which could kill off the Arbs. Oh, ACCM killed that monk. What a freaking game this is. You've both players have huge positives. The relics and the castle for ACCM, but the vill count for Barles and the upgrades. He's got way better upgrades. It's not even close. And it's kind of tough for ACCM to get many more upgrades. Like, I think the one he'll prioritize is probably imp armor for the cav. But that's a lot of resources considering. He also just lost his blacksmith. So he'll need to make a new blacksmith. It's so funny how things have slowed down. It feels like a realistic battle where both people need to recuperate and lick their wounds and come back in a couple weeks, you know? Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Guys, they are sharing farm space. They are farming next to each other. And pretty soon, I think we'll see ACCM stealing these farms. Because why not? It's free. Also, ACCM just casually getting horse collar. Eco upgrade check. That's so funny. Oh, man. That's how much wood did he lose out on not having horse collar? ACCM, I just keep going back to this castle. And he actually moved his relics from this monastery to this monastery. That's how you know he knew this was bad. Because I probably wouldn't move it until he destroyed it, and then I'd try and get them back. About 20 light cav for both. The populations are starting to rise again. For Barles, he's now has to contend with some of the water on the outside as well. So the fire galleys are actually starting to do some things. And, ooh, the light cav raids down here. These two light cav killed quite a few vills. Oh my god, what's happening? Look at the vill count. Barles lost a lot. He lost 23 vills to 2 light cav. The 2 light cav changed it. They found a lot of farmers and lumberjacks down there. Now ACCM has 50 on food versus 30. And he's getting the final armor upgrade. And he has the relics. Oh, dude, I would be so gutted for Barles. Please, no. I love ACCM, but for Barles to lose the previous game and this game would be so painful, dude. He's played amazing. Yeah, there are some fishing ships, I guess. And a couple on fish traps. Well, no, they're not on fish traps, but it's certainly not raidable by light cav. Some of the ships went down there for ACCM. And he's trying to pick some spots with raids. Barles is trying to do the same from this stable. ACCM will take care of that. Big raid from Barles, though. Barles getting massive kills again, and Barles is back in it. He kills 20 villagers. And so they're both 128 pop again. There is 37,000 wood on the map. There is 400 gold on the map. All the relics are collected right now. That's where the gold is. And, of course, ACCM is there. Ooh, Barles also... I think he deleted the tower. Never mind. I'm not sure, but he has 125 stone. How do 400 villagers die on this map? How does the game go past an hour on this map? It doesn't feel like it should ever be possible. This has been the map where the games have been the fastest. It has just been so close. So competitive the whole way through. But as much as it pains me to say, I think you have to go with the guy with the castle and 3 relics and 79 vills versus 57. I think ACCM has done it again. ACCM is behind it 1,000 score right now, by the way, too. He has done it again. Barles, he doesn't have a huge potential with any counter raids. This is exactly where ACCM should be farming. Very smart. I think these skirms will eventually get killed off. He's at 44 vills, and like 30 of them are just sitting inside of his town centers right now. It does nothing in production either. He's completely stuck. He's going to try and make 2 Cavalier. He'll lose one of his TCs. Yup, all the skirms will die. His pop will drop by 15. ACCM did steal some of the farms. The Treb! Barles has no resources. No! The Treb goes down. But taking out that town center is huge because Barles is trying to get more vills all the time. And he's actually just going to build a new one here, a new one here, and a new one here. Yo, let's go, Barles. Let's go, dude. What a fight. What a fight. This is insane. 7% of people watching right now would resign in a ranked game if they lost a villager to a boar, okay? Barles has lost 230 villagers in this game, lost 230 in the previous game, and he's still kicking here. He has less population than minutes left in the game, and he's still fighting. This is insane. But I think he's dead. I'm sorry to hype it up, but I don't see a world back for him. It's bad. Poor Barles. An amazing play from ACCM. Like, what in the world? This is why when you think of ACCM, you think of incredible fight and incredible grit. ACCM, at the top of his game, wins the series 3-1, and he needed to. I mean, what a series. We'll look at the bracket in a second. We'll look to see who ACCM can potentially face next. But whoever it is, they should be quaking in their boots. Because if they get a lead against ACCM, he's still not going to die. If he gets a lead against you, he's going to completely suffocate you. ACCM, if he can play like that, can beat anyone. That was sick. And chat's telling me it's Viper. I saw a little bit of shakiness from Viper, a little bit in the MBL series. ACCM and Barles were playing at an elite level. It almost felt like a final this entire round of 16 series. I could see ACCM potentially beating Viper. That will be a really good quarterfinal. What a game. Quick maths here. We had almost 500 villagers going down in that game on a map that is much smaller than all the other maps. We had multiple castles, which is rare to see on this map. We had town centers getting destroyed by both of them. It was a masterpiece of a game. ACCM gets the job done, wins 3-1, and moves on. I am completely and utterly exhausted. What a series, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, keep an eye out for the rest of the games coming up in this tournament. We've got 5 more days of streams, 5 more days of games, and then we determine that Wandering Warriors Cup 2 champion. But ACCM, I almost want to interview him right now, but it'd feel a little weird to do that because he's also probably asleep, and it's quite late for him. But also, I didn't interview anybody else from the round of 16, but yikes, man. That was so good. At least if you're Barles, maybe, like, you never want to say this, but maybe you lose that and you say, well, I can't play any better than that. But I think when the games were that close, when Game 2 and Game 3 were within reach, it might be very easy for him to also be a little bit bummed because he may think that 1 or 2 different things could have gone differently. But ACCM just keeps coming, man. Great series. All right, bracket update time, so you guys know what's happening. I have a couple more things I want to say. I know some people maybe just got here because the viewership's shot up, so welcome, guys. Just want to show you what's upcoming in this tournament so you know what's coming and what to be excited for. So we have one more series left in the round of 16. That is Hera versus Nikov. That happens tomorrow, so that will not happen today. That happens at 17 GMT tomorrow, which I think is around noon Eastern. So that's in like 22 hours or something. So best of 5 between Hera and Nikov. Winner of that series will face up against Leary. So just crazy. Sebastian and Yo already moved through. Just so many good sets, so much good play. Sebastian and Yo, they will face in the quarterfinal. With that result, ACCM will be up against the Viper, which I know it's crazy. Viper's the reigning champion of Wandering Warriors Cup. I could see if ACCM plays like that, he could absolutely beat the Viper, in my opinion. I expect that to be a really good set. And then the final quarterfinal is Mihai versus Winchester. Mihai, again, beat Tato 3-2, playing like a beast. And he and Sebastian, both in the same clan of younger players, up-and-coming players, they got the job done in their sets and will be in the quarterfinals. And Winchester played like a beast earlier today, if you missed it. So that is the end of the action for today. And that will be the end for me. But thank you guys so much for the support of the tournament so far. The viewership's been sick. The hype has been great. We'll line up more co-casts, of course, for the rest of the games. So again, tomorrow is the best of 5 between Hera and Nikov. Day off on Wednesday, and then Thursday through Sunday is quarters to the final. All right, so I hope you guys will be around for that. Should be really good games.